What if I told you I survived 1000 days of Minecraft hardcore, going from lucky blocks, mushroom worlds, and even becoming Herobrine? Now, could you survive? Because this is one hell of a movie. I also thought it was kind of cool, and I wanted to show you it, so I hope you enjoy. 100 days of Minecraft hardcore, but there's lucky blocks. Lucky blocks an item that can either result in riches and very powerful loot, or can lead to disaster and even death. This would seem to be easy though, so I've decided to make it harder. I have 3 objectives. 1. To achieve some diamond hero armor or tools. 2. To slay and defeat the Frostmore, the snow beast. And finally 3. Defeat the ender dragon and restore the end. Day 1 was the beginning of our adventure, so we had to get resources. So you'd start with getting a tree. That's what I did, and I made some wooden tools. But that wasn't good enough. We had tons of stuff in the wild, so I had to go down and get at least stone resources. I then went searching for somewhere to survive, at least for the first night. I now had resources and some decent tools, so I could at least make a man-made cave. This meant we could go craft a red bed, and since we still had some leftover time, I went exploring for lucky blocks and found one. I wanted to go grab these quartz resources so it wasn't a waste. I wanted to also go see what was inside it, so without hesitation, I mined it, and found a massive lucky block. It turns out there's actually a lucky block inside of it, so I broke that, and we got some gold tools. After a while of searching, I realized it was night. I had to get back. I had no armor, and I did not want to risk dying, so that's what I did, and I went to go sleep in my bed. Day 2 to 7, I wanted to get a little bit of an upgrade, so I went to go mine some iron. It wasn't too much, but honestly, a little bit will work for now. And I also really wanted to find a new place to stay, and that's what I did. I found a little nice area to stay, and built a cottage here. I think this will look nice for now. It's a pretty basic cottage. I just decided to go use oak wood for it and oak log. But as long as this protects me from giant zombies that are like 28 feet tall, I'm not complaining. But after the following days, I started making the floor and ended up finishing this house. What came to a later surprise though is on day 8, there was a dragon outside my house. A pretty deadly one too. I had no idea how powerful this dragon was, so I didn't want to risk going outside. But I ended up thinking of tactics on how I can get outside and just decided to charge through the front door. This was a pretty risky decision because the dragon ended up chasing me. I had no idea how deadly this was, but one thing I knew is that I didn't want to get hit by this dragon, so I went into the caves and hoped the dragon would go away. It was there for ages, and I thought might as well get resources while I'm down here. Unfortunately, there wasn't too many ores in the top of this cave, but it's fine because we still grabbed a few. Day 9, I ran into the forest hoping the dragon would go away, and I think it eventually did. I then continued and just went exploring. Since I'm already out so far, I might as well go find lucky blocks. And on the next days, 10 to 11, I went to go grab some food. While I was doing that, I found a lucky block in the distance, and I went to go break it. Unfortunately, it was deadly, but I saved my life. I lost 5 hearts, yet I saved myself. That could have been way more deadly if I wasn't being cautious. A while later, I broke another lucky block, and I decided to go press the lever. I guess I got lucky. I'll never speak again, guys, I'm sorry. At least I got diamonds. Day 12 is when I finally got home, and thankfully no dragon was in sight. After that, I went to go make some diamond armor. It was only half diamond armor, and I used the remaining diamonds to make some tools. I also wanted to add some decoration to my house, and I thought the best way to do this was add an armor stand. So that's what I made, and I used my previous gold armor that I got and put it on there. Also added some little customizations to the house, which didn't really change much, but I mean, why not? So far for day 12 though, we're looking pretty nice. Day 13 to 17, I went on a trip. Pretty far one too. I went on the quest to find a village, and I eventually did find one. I got here and started taking all of its resources and logs, which isn't probably a great way to greet a village, but who's gonna stop me, the villagers? And while I'm looting this village, if you so far like this video, make sure just to leave a like or even subscribe. I know this is kind of annoying, but it really helps me out. Anyway, after a while of looting, I decided to go back home, and it was getting really dark. I had to be careful though. I at least had some good armor now, so I didn't have to worry. On the way back, I did find some lucky blocks, so I had to go open them. What I got from this lucky block was pretty boring. It's just an iron block, which may be good, but not really helpful for me right now. But what happened next was quite scary. I was making my way back after getting this iron block, and I spotted a mutant creeper. I had to run. I was not prepared to go fight this. I then later though found another lucky block which just had llamas. Like, come on, I don't need these llamas. Thankfully, it was starting to get day again, and I could continue exploring. I was still pretty far away, but it was fine because I knew I'd eventually make it home. Day 18 to 21, I actually did make it home, and I started making a mine. I wanted to do this so I could go get some diamonds and probably even more iron. This did take a long period of time, but it was so not worth it. I did not find that much good loot, only a bit of redstone and iron. I also did end up finding a water cave though, which is what I eventually had to block off. It had something that was actually valuable to me.
obsidian. So after that, I went to go grab all this obsidian. I needed it so I could start making a nether portal. So here's just me mining obsidian. After mining that obsidian though, I thought it was time to go up. While going up, I realized it was night and I had to go fix some patches, which eventually didn't take too long. Day 22 to 24, I was late to it, but I needed to make a brand new food source and it needed to be unlimited too. So I went to go grab some seeds and started making a wheat farm. But I didn't want no basic wheat farm. I wanted to at least decorate it so it would look nice next to my house. So I went to go make some stone brick slabs after smelting my cobblestone in the furnace, and spent most of these days building and creating a design for my crop farm. And while I'm making this crop farm in Minecraft, comment down below what's your favorite thing to do in the game. Personally, mine's playing hardcore. Day 25, from all that mining I did, I was able to go make a few lucky blocks. I realized they were craftable, so I made 5. And a lot of this loot is really interesting that I got some buckets and a piece of sponge, but nothing compared to this giant zombie, which I had no idea what to call the zombie. You guys can choose that, but he ended up going away over time. He just stayed there for a while though. Anyway, continuing with the lucky blocks, I got a hero villager. This was a really good villager. He had hero sword, a hero's fishing rod, a hero's potion, and just so much more. So I had to take him back to my place, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so I decided to go take him back with a boat. I thought this would be the easiest way. It did take a while though, because I lost him for a bit and he kept running away from me. But we did eventually get back to my house and I put him into this little hole. I also went to go plant some sugarcane. I might as well use this so I can go make some bookshelves later. Day 26 and 27 were brand new days, but also coming with brand new mobs. The stupid dragon came over my house, so I shot it with a bow and it died really easily, but I kind of felt bad. It's cause it did try to kill me like 20 days ago, so it deserved it. What I spent these days doing though after that was trying to make a pathway, which I didn't really know what I was going to do first, but I kind of winged it, and the template for it looked really nice. I think after a few days of working on it, it looked good. That day though, I realized with this fang, I could make a dagger. It had poison on it, so when I stabbed people with it, they would die. But that doesn't matter for now, since this pathway was the top priority. I decided to go with a spruce and oak design. I didn't know if it would look nice at the end, but currently right now, I was really liking it. From day 28 to 31, I finished the pathway and made a little open area at the end. I also went to go fix some previous problems with it, since I overlapped my mine. But it's okay for now. There was no need to worry about it though. I wanted to go work on my nether portal, so that's what I did. And after a while of making designs, this is how the nether portal came out. I was really happy with it. I felt like it matched the base. Otherwise than making the nether portal, on those days I went and planted all my sugarcane. I wanted to go extend it, so I started planting on the other side as well. On day 32, I collected all my crops and decided to go replant them. I also started working on a brand new area for more crops, and since I knew already how to do it, it didn't take me too long. It only took me about a day. I had to go actually get resources for it though, so I went to go grab all those water buckets that I got from the lucky blocks and place water. I also got fought by tons of mobs, so I had to go slay them. Speaking of deadly mobs, I think we should start getting prepared for the Nether, hopefully tomorrow. On day 33, I entered the Nether. I just spent most of the first day exploring and just looking around. On other days, I started going to grab quartz since it's good for my levels and gold. And then I realized you can get lucky blocks in the Nether. That must mean it must be easier to find them. I only got roses. I then collected a little bit of more gold and then went home. I then crafted these into gold ingots and started focusing on my chest room so my inventory isn't clustered. Day 36 was lucky block time. We finally made a few more lucky blocks. The first 2 lucky blocks were pretty average, not that beneficial, but the 3rd lucky block was a bad one, and water went and saved me from lava. This was so scary. I thought I was about to die, but the water from the lake saved me. This was probably one of the closest calls I've had in a Minecraft 100 days. That near-death experience didn't really bother me though. I just went and collected all my crops, but my focus now, after harvesting them again, was to go find more lucky blocks. So that's what I went out for, and I spent the next following days trying to go grab them. But the day was about to change, and I couldn't find any. After spending a while, I couldn't find any lucky blocks. The only thing I found was a mutant giant zombie in my forest. The zombie charged at me with no hesitation. This worried me. I had no idea how powerful the zombie would be, but it was getting closer. I just started firing arrows at it and hoping I could survive. This could be our last minutes in this world. But then, thankfully, a mutant skeleton starts to fight the zombie and distracting it from me. It goes up and shoots shots at it, and I go and watch the fight. This was an epic battle against the two. I had no idea who was gonna win. Could it be a skeleton or the zombie? Once I saw the zombie fall to the ground, I knew I had to get out of there. The skeleton started shooting at me, so I just ran into a cave, hoping I could be safe in here. I ended up staying in here for the night and grabbing a few resources. Day 38, while I was leaving the cave, a lot of zombies came down here since it was day and started attacking me. I was so confused why so many zombies were spawning. I thought I killed that mutant zombie. And then I realized there's another one, and I saw the skeleton dead. I had to leave now because I'm not ending up like that skeleton. Thankfully, I wasn't too far away from my home, so I made it back pretty quickly. So since I had all this spare time left, I decided let's continue with this pathway. I wanted to go make a tower. I started working on the basic frame of it just so I could get an idea. But since it was getting dark, I decided to go into the Nether. I thought from all the resources you can get from the Nether, such as stream lights, I could use it onto my tower. I thought it'd look really nice. That's not the only thing I did in the Nether though. I went to go get some more resources, but my main focus was to find the fortress, which after a few days I did. I then spent a little while trying to find blaze spawner, which didn't actually take too long, which is my least favorite part of the game. I absolutely hate fighting blazes. I just hate getting set on fire. It was fine though, because tons of blazes were spawning, and they were dropping tons of blaze rods. I was pretty surprised with how much they were dropping. While I was waiting for all the blazes to spawn though, I went and grabbed tons of nether brick. I don't know if I'd ever use this, but I might as well grab it. After killing a few more blazes, I decided to go back home. It ended up being worth it, and actually it was a pretty safe adventure in the Nether, although I just took damage while falling. On day 47, I didn't really do much. I just made a brewing stand. I didn't spend time learning how to make potions, just because I wasn't sure yet. On day 48, I placed a bit of soul sand and created a small nether wart farm. I also went and crafted some lucky blocks. From the first one, I got diamond hero armor on the leggings and boots. This was so rare and I was so lucky that I got it. The second lucky block was pretty awful, but the third one redeemed itself. It was ender portal blocks. This means I can build my ender portal at my base. On day 49 to 52, I went on the search for the fairest wrought north. I 100% didn't say that right. Unfortunately, I didn't find him. I spent ages looking through the cave, but I didn't find a knight. Now I had to deal with all these mobs coming to attack me. I'm guessing in 200 days we might have to go find him. If you want to see that, make sure to like. After those days of searching, I couldn't find him, so these caves were useless and I eventually went back up. On day 53 though, from the ores I got from the cave, I ended up smelting some iron and some gold. I also just got home from a long trip, so I had to go reharvest all my crops again. With all that gold I smelted, I made a lucky block, and I got a fish. Thanks game, thanks so much. I wasn't ending with that. I went back into the caves and grabbed a little bit of gold. I still needed some. So on day 54, I made another lucky block. I was hoping for something good, and I got a charged creeper. I wasn't happy with that, so I ended up smelting the rest of the gold ore I had and making another lucky block, and it was paintings. Are you kidding me? I mean, the paintings did look kinda nice though. Day 55, after ages, I finally redid all my sugarcane. This was so good, because now we had tons left over, and now I can craft bookshelves. I also ended up making an enchantment table, which led us on to day 56 to 59. I spent this time making an enchantment room, and started with making the floor for it. Later on, I started working on the walls. I wasn't really sure how this was gonna look, but I kinda wanted to do a circular form. And after a while, I finally finished. Look at it, I even connected the pathways. I also added some leaves inside and ended up enchanting my diamond armor, including my tools as well. We've got max diamond enchanted armor already. Since that gold in the furnace is smelted and I had a little bit of gold from the nether that I forgot about, I decided to go make another lucky block. I also went and had a little nap, you know, but that's not important. Day 60, I was excited to break this lucky block. Yeah, about that. I think I went to go get a horse for a coping mechanism after that. I couldn't believe that I got 4 bad lucky blocks. I ended up taming this horse, and now we're best friends forever. But that was the start of our journey. We went to go find and get more lucky blocks. I wanted good loot, so I was hoping this desert could reward me. I ended up placing the lucky block down and just getting some bunnies. I ended up also finding another one and getting diamond tools. After a while, I found more nether portals and crafted more lucky blocks. And these lucky blocks led me to lucky potions. These could be so good or so bad. I wanted to find out, so I chucked a few, and it so far looked nice. Until I turned around and placed another lucky potion. I was honestly just physically frustrated at this point. But after a while of searching, I decided to go leave the desert. I had a new fate now, and that was to go and kill the Frostmore. I did find some lucky blocks first, and these were the first good ones I got. I realized I also had lucky potions that I didn't open, and these were actually lucky. On the third one, I ended up getting enchantments, but the fourth one was even better. I got over 10 enchantment books. I was amazed at this rate. I had to go clear my inventory. I had so much good loot now. And after that, I was determined to go make more lucky blocks. This was a risky one. I could either get a death wish or a good wish. I throw my coin in and I get my wish. Diamonds. And a lot of diamonds, including a beacon. So far, it was looking like a great day. And yeah, that kinda didn't work out. Yeah. But it's fine, because I ended up surviving that attack. But will I survive this? Fighting the Frostmore, the gigantic snow beast. I wanted to go get a little bit of distance, but I got frozen by the Frostmore. I had to be careful next time, so when he shot at me again, I decided to go block it. I knew it was going to be a challenge to defeat this mighty beast. I tried to shoot the Frostmore with my bow, but it does absolutely nothing to it. I realized though, since it was night, I need to retreat. Since the undead was here, I have to wait till day. It'll be the safest way to fight this deadly creature. When it turned day, I thought of some tactics that I can do. Since it was already sleeping, it regenerated its health. Unfortunately, it realized I was there, and I couldn't get any attacks due to its mighty roar. I ended up jumping into the water. I thought this could be a safe place where I could sneak up on it. Unfortunately, it wasn't, since I couldn't get back in. I didn't want to lose all my progress. I knew I had to kill this beast, and I had to find a way how. I start running back to the trees. I need to go grab some resources. I was worried that I could die, so I need to start thinking of brand new tactics. I made a barricade so I could deal some damage, but it dealt more of mine, so I had to retreat around the tree. But then I wrap around the Frostmore and do an insane amount of damage to it. I realized I could strike and kill it. I went all in and killed the Frostmore. We have done it. We've killed the Frostmore. We didn't get to obtain the powerful ice crystal, which freezes mobs. Day 69 to 73 were pretty simple. I decided to go back home after defeating the Frostmore, and after a while, we eventually made it. The days at home though, were very calming. I decided to go improve the hull for the hero villager. I think he needed a better looking hull than one that actually looked like a cracked in. Anyway, we got the hero sword, so we're basically unstoppable. We also decided to start working on the tower. Day 74 to 82, I started working on the tower. I wasn't sure how this was going to look, but I started working on each layer. My plan is probably to put the beacon here, but I'm not quite sure yet. I really care about the inside look of it, so I decided to use spruce trapdoors. I was getting really low on spruce planks though, so I decided to go all the way back to the village and get tons of spruce planks. Now I didn't have to worry about going back and getting more spruce, because I have so much now. I also started using oak fences for the second layer, and eventually, the tower ended up like this. You can see my construction work on the right of it. But what do you guys think of the tower? Let me know in the comments below. I can definitely say these 100-day videos have improved my building. Day 83 to 89, I was making a brand new area for my crops. I wanted it to be massive, so I wouldn't have to worry about space. So I used the leftover dirt that like everyone has when they play Minecraft, and also made this little hole so I could get more. I really needed dirt for this, like a lot. I never thought I'd ever say that. After a while, I filled half of it with sugarcane. I filled the other half with tons of wheat, and this is how it turned out. It ended up looking really nice, and I can't wait to see it when it's fully grown. Day 90 to 91, I opened some brand new lucky blocks, and I got a hero villager. This was so good, since he traded armor. I'm probably gonna go save up for a hero's chest plate. The other lucky blocks weren't too good, until I finally got the other pieces of the end portal. I'm surprised I got it this early, and I also got this, so let's just run. After ruining my world with another explosion, I decided to take my hero villager back to my base. I also made a little room for him too, which looked really nice. Today we placed all the blocks of the ender portal, but otherwise than that, we gave my horse diamond armor instead of crappy gold armor. I also decided to go work on the right side of the base by adding some soul sand. I didn't have enough right now to do a full farm, but as long as I have a small farm for now and I'm growing wart, it's fine. Day 93 to 94, I went back in the caves because I wanted to make a hero chestplate, so I needed a little bit of diamonds. I also found a dungeon which had a loot in one book, so I might use that on my sword. Anyway, after a while, I found some diamonds, which was really good. I also found more later, which made me able to craft a hero's chestplate. I definitely replaced this with my old one. We nearly have max hero armor. I also decided to go upgrade the hero sword with a loot in one book. Although it's not that great, we might need it for the ender pearls. I also decided to upgrade my bow. Day 96, I made a potion of strength. We also broke a lucky block and got tons of rainbow sheep, like a lot. So I decided, why don't I make a farm and move them all into there. I then also used some of the crops that I have from my farm so they can make tons of babies. Hell yeah. Day 97 and 98. Since I was already right next to a warped forest, I decided to go in there and kill endermen. This had lots of ender pearls. I also found tons of lucky blocks, which gave me even more ender pearls than Isaac Ender. I also found this, and yeah. Thankfully, I got some lucky potions, but then look what I got. I got the Hero's Trident. I was honestly so surprised when I got this trident. It has such good enchantments. Speaking of enchantments, look at all these books. But day 99 to 100, I finally had enough Eyes of Ender. And you know what this means. I'm ready to fight the Ender Dragon. I go up and start to shoot all of the Ender Dragon's pillars. I have to make sure it can't regenerate any health. I realize the Ender Dragon's coming down, so I start firing arrows. I then go and take one of my gold apples just to be careful. I realize he's coming back down again, so I have another shot. I take my potion of strength, but while I take it, he leaves. This annoys me since I can't even use it on him. I start to demolish the Ender Dragon's health. This Ender Dragon has nothing on my hero sword. I then start to fire shots at the Ender Dragon with my bow and arrow. I then also pop a 360 and get him to the lowest he's been. I go and decide to defeat the Ender Dragon with my fist. We've done it. We've freed the end. And we've killed the Ender Dragon. I decide to go and take the Ender Dragon egg as a souvenir and go home. We've done it. On day 100, we've defeated the Ender Dragon. It survived 100 days. Wait, that's another lucky block. Huh? Wait, make it stop! Ah, my head. Wait, where am I? So 100 days in ancient Egypt. There's like pyramids and stuff, tons of raiders, barely any water or land, so this is going to be a really interesting 100 days. Goal number 1 is to obtain at least one piece of a tomb armor. 2, to have a viable food source. And 3, to kill the pharaoh, the king of Egypt. Day 1 was the start to our adventure. I started this day by looking around. There seemed to be a raid near me, so I went to stay away from that. I continued going and I found a ruin with some pretty basic loot, but it was good for getting started. I also went to the other one while I was getting attacked so I could get some coal. This biome had to be dangerous. It was starting to get dark and I had a wolf chasing me. I thought the best way to get away from it was to jump over this cliff, which is what I did. Thankfully it didn't get me, but it seemed pretty annoyed. That wolf wasn't the only thing annoyed though. I realized it was getting dark and I had nothing. I decided to go make a little hole and started making a crafting table and some basic tools. It was a long night. Day 2 to 10, I really needed to go find some food. So that's what I did. I looked inside trees and I found the scarabs. I don't know what they're doing up there, but I'm not complaining since I could get food. They could have killed me though. I had to spend a lot of time doing this since the drop rate was pretty low, but I needed more dead root anyway. I had to make sure I wouldn't run out of food for at least a few more days. This was really worrying. I continued to look around and I found some camels, which I could have probably killed, but I really wanted to go tame one. I had a saddle, so this meant I could have some way of transport. This would save me a lot of hunger since I wouldn't be the one moving. I did get hit a lot from these raiders, but I could actually get away now. Now all I have to do is find a biome that has at least one bit of water, and after a while of searching, I did thankfully find one. Although, making a base right now could be very risky, so I went into the caves. And from day 11 to 12, I went and got some more resources. I just wanted to make sure that I couldn't get hurt and I could defend myself against mummies and even raiders, so I went to go get some basic resources. Assassins also tried to go jump on me, so I went to go kill them as well. Day 13 to 20, I went inside a mine shaft. I didn't even realize there were mine shafts in ancient Egypt. That didn't matter though. What I wanted to get is some coal and some more iron. So I spent time doing that, and eventually I found iron ore. This meant I can make a shield and defend myself a little bit better. Thankfully, I did have some limestone left. I went and made a furnace and went to go smelt all this iron. I wanted to make sure I can make a shield and not die. Bad news though, I did run out of food. But that's okay since there weren't too many mobs down here. All I really had to worry about was getting back to the top and defending myself while I make a house. We ended up making our first bit of iron armor, but we needed more, so we went further down into the caves and found even more iron. And so far, I didn't find any mobs, which I was pretty grateful for. If I found anything, I would honestly just be so scared. Since after I do say that though, I did encounter a mob. Thankfully, it was really slow, so I went to go block it off. I also found bone ore, which it's best not to question things. Like, I got time traveled back to ancient Egypt. I'm not complaining, I just want to survive. I was pretty low down in the caves, and they had lapis as well. So with these pickaxes, I went to go get them. They also had more bone ore, and sadly no diamond. But it's fine because we can make iron chest plates and iron tools for now. I ended up making an iron sword so we could get out. Day 21 to 22 were actually pretty scary. I was up on the main level, and that means raiders can come after me. This meant I needed to make a 2-layer house as fast as possible. I didn't want them to come over here and kill me. If you didn't know, this was my 7th attempt of beating 100 days in ancient Egypt because of these damn raiders. It's fine though, because we eventually made this house. Day 83, a swarm of them just came to my house. I wanted to go kill them, so I basically just camped and killed them, really. That's kind of all I did. There was also a sandstorm, so I just kind of wanted to go play some torches. I thought this could stop them from spawning, but even more just came, and oh my god, they're just everywhere. I was getting so low, but I just kept placing torches. I was actually so angry. I just wanted to go get all these torches done, and yeah, that's really all I did. I just went back to my house. I kind of just went AFK for a while, kind of just cried inside due to these raiders. It was a very painful day, I will have to admit. Day 24, I actually completed my first goal. I got some emmer seeds from some of the loot crates I found before and planted them. Otherwise than that though, I just spent most of this day trying to find out how to make a curran. Oh my god, how can I mess that up so bad? It's fine though, because we made one and we started making all this emmer flour and made it into dough with the water. We turned this into bread. Day 25 to 28 was so painful. I had to use a wooden pickaxe just to go make a strip mine. I did this because I wanted to find iron badly, mainly so I can make an actual good pickaxe. I also used a quern, and yes, I said it right, to go make some flour. Day 29, I went exploring. I wanted to go find something better, but there was so much raiders outside my base, and it was a sandstorm. All I could see was arrows. Eventually, I did get away from these, and I ended up going into a deadroot forest. I thought at the time it was the only way to get away from these raiders, and that's what I did. I went in and just hoped for the best. I did get away, thankfully. I was safe and I could actually go eat some food. After running away from the raiders, I continued my journey. I wanted to see if I could find some precious loot that will be valuable to me. I had to go look around a lot. I went in some sandboxes and I did find a desert helmet, which was pretty useless to me, but like it looks kind of cool, okay? In that day though, I did find some larger ruins. It's pretty hard to navigate during the sandstorm and I feel like I went in circles for a while. I was kind of getting worried though. I was out for a while now and I didn't know really how to get back. But it was fine, because on day 31 to 34, I found a tower, which actually at the time I thought would have been really bad. I thought there might be some enemies or it would be a dungeon. It turned out to be villagers, and I went to go take their beacon, which is called the Heart of Ra. They didn't seem quite happy. I decided to go leave after that and continue looting, and I found a Chanley book as well as the Bane of Arthropods, which is pretty good, but not as good as this. I found a pyramid. I thought I could go in, but the blocks were just indestructible. I don't know what to do. There were also tons of raiders guarding it. I wasn't really sure though why they were guarding this pyramid. I guess we'll have to find out later. It was way too risky to go fight them. On the way home, I found a short bow with power 3. I finally had a bow and arrow. While I was adventuring home, I found some angry desert wolves and an alpha of the pack. I thought with my dirty bones, I could try and tame them, which I was able to do. I was able to tame 3 of these wolves, and I was able to ride the alpha. This was pretty good. I had a new way of transport. I was so thankful though, because when I was looting, I did find a saddle. This meant I can go travel at much faster speeds, and probably even destroy raiders. Now all we have to do is find our way home, and that didn't take long with this wolf. Day 39 to 40 was really bad. Once I got home, I realized the place was infiltrated with raiders everywhere. I was scared. I didn't want anything to get damaged. I decided to go help my great wolf, and by getting on top of it and starting to attack all the raiders from the side. I thought this would be the best way since it's hard for both of us to get hit. I started firing shots with my short bow, hoping I could kill all of these tribes. But there were so many. I was starting to get worried. Could this be where I die? I killed most of the archers. I started continuing on the wall. If I can make a small wall, I can at least get most of them out for now. This did take a long time though. I had to keep going in and out just so I couldn't die, and I was worried about my wolf too. Unfortunately though, while I was dying, one of the smaller wolves died. Rest in peace, wolf. You did a great service. I was starting to get worried though. It was getting dark. I started to continue placing walls though, and just hoping that no more archers would come. There already was tons. This was really intense, but I was getting close to finally finishing the first part of it. And I did. Finally, no more could come inside. I had to continue this though on day 41. I decided to go make some more walls and it ended up making a second layer. I was kind of glad I used that pickaxe to go get some sandstone. That was very intense, but finally, we're safe. Day 42, I actually could go get some palm trees now. I didn't have to worry about getting attacked by raiders. This meant I wouldn't have to use any more deadwood. Deadwood is so ugly and it might be worse than birchwood. We did place some palm tree saplings and some emmer seeds. We wanted to make sure our farm had enough and we didn't want to have to worry about bread. I made sure to crush it all in the quern and use the bone meal as well to go grow all these trees. Day 43 to 45 weren't too special. I decided to add some little things to my base, such as adding more trees, just killing all these stupid raiders. Also, if you're enjoying the video so far, make sure to subscribe. If we get enough subscribers, I'm planning on doing 2 videos a week. Anyway, enough of that. On day 45 to 54, I started working on a second layer to the house. I wanted to go use all that palm wood I got, since I actually have a lot now. I decided to go make the second layer just a small chest room. I also broke my house with the Heart of Ra, but it's fine, I just ended up fixing all of it. Otherwise than that, I added some chests to the second layer and I was planning on adding some sandbox crates. My base was nothing that special, but it was much nicer than it used to be, and I'm happy with that. Day 55 to 56, I got even more materials and made the wall higher. Archers could still get in from some angles, so I went and fixed that. But since it was so high now, I needed a way out. So on day 57, I made a trapdoor room that the raiders won't know about. Day 58 to 70, I went to go get some ore. I wanted to see if I could actually find diamond, since I knew diamond was pretty hard in this world. It was fine though, because I actually found some pretty close to me too. I continued exploring and found a much larger cave. This was good, and I actually got some obsidian, which I was going to use for enchantment table. And then I realized I can't get sugarcane. I'm quite dumb. I was looking around and near a lava pool I found an 8 piece of diamonds. This was so good. Now I had enough definitely to make a chest plate. Sadly, this diamond pickaxe I made was pretty useless since I can't even use the obsidian. But it's fine because we made the chest plate. Day 71 to 72, I realized there's hundreds of raiders around my base. This was scary. I started taking shots at them, hoping I could get some kills. I had to use the secret path. This is where the least raiders were. I knew I couldn't kill them all. There were so many. I ended up using the Iron's Greatsword, which did 10 attack damage. This was great, although it had a low attack speed. After a while, I was starting to get concerned. There were still hundreds of raids left, and they were taking a lot of my health. I realized I need to get back, and I can't defeat them. I think I just have to accept defeat and stay in my wall for now. I just need a new tactic. Although, my tactics aren't that great, and I decided to go charge and run outside. I could have taken my wolf with me, but I didn't want to lose them in this anarchy of attackers. I decided to go run. I want to go find the pyramid and defeat the pharaoh. I had no idea where a pyramid was though, and in this fog, it's much harder to find. I did find some other loot on the way and some ruins. This made me get a lot of food, so now I have a food source while I battle. This was actually quite good. And after ravaging and ravaging with tons of loot and looking around, I finally found the pyramid. This was really good, although getting hit by him wasn't good. I had to go heal, but after that, I started attacking all these raiders. I had to go defeat all these raiders so I could actually make it to the pyramid, but they're quite powerful, so I have to be smart and cautious. It was even harder since I can't build around the pyramid. It had some spiritual force onto it, but after going mining down, I realized I could find a doorway, and I did. From day 85 to 88, I decided I was ready to go inside the pyramid. The sand was covering it. I had no idea what was waiting in there until I saw them charging at me. I don't know what to do, but I decided to go in and start attacking. Thankfully, these stone mummified beasts can't even come near me. I went to go check their loot though, and their loot wasn't the greatest, but it's fine because I continued going down. They had a second layer, which actually had poison traps. I was not prepared for that. Although the traps were there, I continued to explore the pyramid. I wanted to see the depths and kill the pharaoh. There were traps everywhere. I didn't know how to avoid the traps, but then I realized with my diamond pickaxe, I'm able to dodge the traps by right-clicking on them. This was good. Now I can actually go grab some loot and be more safe. There were also these mummified blazerkins, but for some reason they didn't even want to come near me. I'm not sure why. But that doesn't matter. I found the main room and saw the pharaoh. Unfortunately, this tarantula tried to jump me, but it's fine. I went to go stop all these traps so I wouldn't run into them while I was attacking the pharaoh. I was close to finishing all the traps. Every time I closed one trap, I was getting closer to my destiny. I decided to summon the pharaoh. I wasn't prepared though. I didn't realize how fast it was, but I thought of a strategy. Maybe if I can go in circles, I can go defeat it. me and the Pharaoh just continued going around for ages until I eventually got it low. It was really continuous, but I got stuck in the corner and I could have died. This was getting really worrying. I was getting low, but the Pharaoh was getting lower. I go around and eat my date and keep continuing with the loot until I get it low and pull my final blow. The Pharaoh's been killed, but now we have all its undead to kill too. I then though go and loot its sarcophagus and I find Eyes of Atom. Thankfully I had an Atom chestplate from one of the other ones before, but we also got a Totem of Undying. From day 89 to 99 was the journey home. We finally did it. We killed the Pharaoh and we've survived 100 days.
Huh? No, not again. Whoa. Wait, where am I?
Wait, we're going down. 100 days of Minecraft hardcore, but in a mushroom biome world. So there's a lot of 100-day videos out there, but no one has done this yet. So I thought, why don't I do it? I've always been into mushroom biomes. There's no biome as weird as this in Minecraft. Unlike a normal world, mushroom biomes don't have many things, like trees and villages, which means I have to adapt. Do I have what it takes to survive 100 days? Well, here's how it went down. Day 1 to 2, I'm finally in the mushroom world, and just looking at it, I know this is going to be hard. I started the day with just getting some food, and getting some resources, because I have no wood yet, so I need to go find a mine shaft, and that's what I decided to do. I decided to go and risk it in a cave. There should be a mine shaft, hopefully. Fortunately, it did actually have a mine shaft. I was looking for a while, but I did find one, so that was a relief. Otherwise, that would have been really bad. I decided though, I really need to get some wood, so that's what I ended up doing for a little while. But while I was doing that, I found a chest, and it's kind of funny. I actually got iron ore before a crafting table, so I got some ores and decided to fight some cave spiders. And honestly, if you like cave spiders, you're a little bit weird. Once I absolutely destroyed that spider though, I smelted my iron and decided to get some better tools, because like I'm a little bit lazy, so I need an iron axe. I also found another minecart with a chest. I decided to go strip mining and I actually found diamonds. It was an AP, so I'm basically rich now, and with those diamonds I just decided to make a diamond pickaxe so I can get some obsidian. I also made a diamond axe because like I'm lazy guys, come on, I need that wood. But after being in the mine shaft for 2 days, I decided to go back up to land. Day 3 to 4 I went exploring so I can find somewhere to make my house. I did thankfully, and I decided to make a lake house. I basically spent most of my time trying to make a design because like I only had cobblestone and barely any wood. I'm not wasting all this wood in this place, but that's kind of what I spent. I also wanted to make like a little Six Flags roller coaster, so that's what I ended up doing, you know. Add some rails, just make it look nice, because I'm lazy, okay, which I also decided to add some redstone, even though like I'm really bad at redstone, but I eventually did get it working, and you know, it makes me even be more lazy. From all the spiders I killed, I got some web and made a bed. I'm a rapper now. Day 5 I actually got iron armor and gold boots for the Nether. Otherwise than that, I just collected some sand so I can make some windows. Otherwise I'm not having these cobblestone walls. But that's really all I did. I was just speedrunning windows, waiting for all of them to smelt. I don't know why I did it this way. I could have done so much other things, but you know, why not, I guess. That's just what I would do. Day 6 to 10, I went to the Nether, and you may be wondering, I've gone to the Nether pretty early, but I really need to go there. This will be the easiest way to get levels, and the easiest way to get more wood. Spent this time though just getting some levels, but my main priority was to get materials, so that's kind of what I did for most of this, because I'm not having an ugly cobblestone base, no. Day 11, I was looking on Google Images to make a building. I'm actually so uncreative. On day 12, I decided first to work on my Nether portal because detailing a Nether portal well looks so nice. So basically not here, but I decided to go get some dirt and make a little platform that actually connects to the main thing. And for detail, I just added some crimson slabs. You know, you gotta have that little detail to spice it up. But that's kind of what I just did that there. Okay, day 13 to 15 wasn't just me placing slabs, okay? I started working on my house. That's what I spent most of those days doing, and trust me, you will like it. The outcome was so nice. Day 16 to 17, I just continued doing the inside of the house, basically just working on the interior for the main floor. I wasn't really sure how much floors I was going to do, or if I was going to do even any more floors, but I just stayed with this. But it was really annoying. I wanted to do this pattern, and I screwed it up many times. Like, what is this? I think I made Megamind. But while I'm building this, why don't you check out the Discord server? It'll be in the comments, and you can even talk to me or others. Day 18, I kind of went AFK. Day 19 to 21, I found a dungeon which was actually really good when I was mining for diamonds. It was funny, all these zombies just jumped me like it was London. I'm just like, no, get away from me. I went to go check the loot though, and in one of the chests it had efficiency 4 enchantment book. After that though, I just continued my mining and got some iron ore. It took a while for me to find some diamonds, but I eventually did do it. See, look at them shiny boys in the corner. So I just grabbed those, and I didn't really do anything with them actually. I just kind of collected them so I don't have to worry about them later. I had so much iron, and instead of making a blast furnace, I decided during that time I'm going to work on the house even more. So cue the montage for day 22 to 24. After all of that, I finished a right or left side. Honestly, I don't know. That's so bad. Nah, can I cut that out? On day 25, after all that iron was smelted, I got an anvil. Hell yeah. Also added some cobblestone. After that though, I decided to repair my diamond pickaxe, and that was because I was about to put efficiency 4 on it. I literally am speed now, so I guess I have to name it Super Fast Boy. Day 26 to 27, I just continue working on the house, and you may be like, why are you working on— Shut up! That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, okay? It's looking beautiful. That's the only important thing. But that's kind of just what I did those days, and all it really needs now is some torches. Day 28, I really wanted to get a pet cow, so I needed a wandering traveler. Luckily there was one near me, and I needed to kill it. I mean, I would never do such thing to a wandering traveler. Like, you know, they have such good trades. It just disappeared, but you know, I don't know how that happened. I think it's just like a glitch or something. Day 29, I spent most of the day searching for cow names, and I named it Big Bertha. Yes, Big Bertha. Anyway, I found a cow, and I went to go grab it with a sled, and I just basically dragged it back. I kind of became like a kidnapper, but that's not relevant. Anyway, once I got there, the cow was actually just too fat to go through the door, so I had to get this fat shit. I didn't say a naughty word, YouTube. Please don't demonetize the video. I would never do such. Day 30 to 36 was finally the time I'm going to the Nether Fortress, but I forgot I hit some piglins, so I may have had to go back into the portal. Also had to collect all that wood, you know, got to get rich. I also spent some of the time just grabbing some resources on the way to the Nether Fortress. And when I did find it, I just focused on getting some blaze, because I really just want to get these done with. I honestly hate them. You know, I just gotta kill these blaze. I don't know, I just hate them so much. You know, subscribe if you hate blaze. Honestly, please. Please tell me you hate blaze. One thing I didn't realize though is I was really unprepared to fight them. I nearly died here, and once that happened, I just stopped. I maybe killed a few more, but I realized I need to go. I only had a few rotten flesh left, and that was my only food. I had to get back, but I had to do it in a safe way without taking any damage. I was so lucky though. I found the ruined portal while I was getting more material, and this, I don't know, this was just crazy. I thought I'd have to risk my life to get a piglin so I can possibly trade obsidian with them. But what's even more lucky is there's a full portal. In the chest there was 2 obsidian pieces, and I just was shocked at this moment. I was so relieved. Unfortunately though, this place where I went was so far away. It was about 4,000 blocks from my place, so I had to go kill some animals and get my health back. This took a little while, but it was so worth it, so I can actually survive, because I am not restarting. No, I am not. After killing tons of cows, it was getting close to day 37, so when that happened, I went back in. Day 37, I spent a solid like 20 minutes trying to get back to my base. I was actually scared here. I thought the piglin were going to attack me, but thankfully I made those gold boots. But here's basically a shortened version of me getting back to my Nether portal. When I found it, oh my god, it was crazy. I was actually so, like, you can see me shaking. Well, not even shaking, just excited. I was so relieved. I could actually finally go back and start progressing rather than getting lost in the Nether. It was great to see my base again. Day 38 to 41, I made those diamonds useful and made some armor, but now I'm only half a shiny boy, so I had to go mining. Fortunately though, I found another dungeon while I was mining, which is pretty crazy. It didn't really have too much good in the chest, but it did have one thing I wanted, and that was a music disc. It was honestly sad though. The other chest had a saddle, and I can't even get a horse unless there's a skeleton one. On good news though, I kept mining and I found some diamonds. It was actually a 4-piece. 5-piece actually, but here I just focused on getting ores. I honestly had so much iron, but I decided to get even more. You know, there's no problem in getting more. And otherwise than that, I just use a technique to mine diamonds. and this is what I used. I don't even know what it's called, but it was so effective. I got so many from this, and that's really what I did for most of those days. Like, look how much diamonds I'm finding. And look at them shiny diamonds. I kept strip mining though, and I weirdly found a mine shaft, which is actually good so I can get some normal oak planks. But there's more cave spiders, and oh my god. After leaving the mine shaft though, I went mining and found even more diamonds. And once I did that, I ended up leaving with 16 diamonds. Finally, I can be a full shiny boy. Day 42, I made some diamond tools, including a diamond shovel. The thing that was unfortunate about this though, is I can't enchant them until I go to the stronghold. So I guess that will have to wait. I decided to grab some dirt though and start working on a little farm. I'm not sure if I use it or not, but I kinda did it for display. This also scared me. It sucks though because I can't grab any wheat or seeds, so this is going to be really hard to do, but I'll probably still continue to live on some meat. I also thought it would be really funny to get a jukebox and put it next to Big Bertha, you know? What are you going to do about it? Run away? And well, I tortured Big Bertha. Let's continue working on my house. And that's what I did. I just really decided to add some torches to it and some lanterns, you know. The house is actually looking really nice so far and might be close to being finished. Day 43 to day 45, I spent that time getting gold because I need to get some eyes at ender. And since there's no mobs, I have to do it by training with piglins. This is honestly frustrating because this took so long. Like, really long. I was honestly just sitting there hoping to give me ender pearls. Luckily, I did get a lot of ender pearls, and I got 2 stacks of ender pearls in a row. I don't know what the chances of it is that, but I know it's really low. Day 46 till 58 was me getting prepared and ready to fight the ender dragon. I decided the quickest way to do this was to do a Nether fast travel. So I got some ender pearls and kept going that way until I felt close to the stronghold. When I think I was close to it, I decided to make a Nether portal and went through. I was actually pretty close. I was around 300 blocks off, and I spawned in a ravine, which is perfectly fine. I kept following my eyes of ender though, and found a ruined portal there. I also decided, since there were phantoms, to go kill them, because if they give me a drop, I can use that to repair my elytra. Unfortunately, I didn't get one though, so it was a waste of time. I found out where the stronghold actually was, and decided to mine down, and yes, I forgot my shovel. Good job. Once I actually got into the stronghold, I wasn't in a rush to go fight the ender dragon, so I just kinda cruised and explored. I did find a library, and this is where I can finally enchant and get paper and books, so that's what I spent most of the time doing, by getting bookshelves. Also, I found some really good enchantment books, so I'm definitely going to use those for my anvil. After that, I went down and popped a little 360, why not? But funny enough, that's where the end room was. And once I was there, I placed all my eyes at ender, and fortunately I did have enough. Here's where we finally killed the ender dragon and got a lot of XP. This is actually going to be so good since we can enchant now. Right after that though, I think I did one of the dumbest things I've done in Minecraft. I decided to use a strategy for killing endermen, but I accidentally screwed it up. I didn't make it big enough. And this is where I nearly died. My heart was racing. I had like 6 endermen chasing me, and I just was worried. But I thought of a way to save myself. If I run over and place a triple layer cobblestone and run back, I can actually survive. Honestly, I thought I was doomed. I thought I lost all this progress, but I actually didn't. I survived. I was so relieved. This is probably the closest I've ever been to death, so I was so happy that I survived. Since I'm already in the end though, I might as well go grab a elytra, so I decided to go to the end cities. I thought a really helpful thing to grab is chorus berries, because if I'm at the top of an end city, I can eat one and get to the bottom. While I was getting some blocks though, I found an end city. Unfortunately, it wasn't a big one, but it can do for now. I just wanted to go grab some loot and see what I got from it. I decided the route I'm taking though to get up here is just by going with the outside of the blocks I gathered, because I swear every time I go inside I just risk myself and nearly die. Ironic enough though, I decided to go up the sideway and I actually nearly die. I have no idea how this happened, but I'm so lucky I caught myself. But it was fine because I survived and I went up to the top of the end city. And what was in the chest were actually pretty good. It had sharpness 3, unbreaking 3, and a knockback 1 sword. The diamond helmet wasn't that good, but I grabbed it anyway. Once I got all the loot I needed, I took a chorus fruit and went to the bottom. Once I kept traveling though, I found one of the biggest inn cities I've seen in a long time. This one had a pirate ship and over 4 rooms. Immediately as I saw it, that's where I knew I was gonna get my elytra. Firstly though, I decided to go kill some shulkers, because this will be really helpful when I want to make a shulker box later in the game. Unfortunately, I'm not the best though at hitting those floating things, but I still decided to go inside, even though I lost a lot of health getting to the top. But it was fine, because I found one of the good shulker rooms with tons of loot. I also had to deal with these flying things, which are kinda cool, but I also hate them. From the chest though, I just got some average loot. I got some diamond boots with blast protection 4. After that though, I took a chorus berry. Even though I have to get back to the top, I needed a heal. I went back up though and continued looting. I did find another room with 2 chests, but I was being chased a lot by those flying things, so I tried to barricade myself, which did eventually work. And the loot that I got from it was some diamond boots with protection 3, and the other chest that I accidentally covered was also more diamond boots. So I decided to keep both of them. There was also another end room near me, so I just decided to end the pill there, and I grabbed the diamonds and some of the loot there, because I need to get out, otherwise I will die. So I just took another chorus berry and got to the bottom. After many ender pill fails, I did eventually make it to the ship. I took a potion of healing and fought the last shulker so I could finally get the elytra. I checked the chest first, and it had a diamond chest plate and a few diamond leggings. I decided to take one, but that's not what we're here for. We finally got the elytra, so now we can glide back and get back to our base. And that's exactly what we did. It did take us a while to find one with a ship, but it was worth it. Now we can continue with our Minecraft world and hopefully fight the Wither on day 100. Day 67, I spent some time grabbing some obsidian so I can make an enchantment table. I decided to place it in the main area of the house for now, but I'll probably make a room soon. Also decided to repair some of my loot. Since we just fought the ender dragon, it will need some repairing. Day 68 till 71 is when I decided to work on the enchantment room. I decided to do it now and actually replace the original building of our base with it. This meant though that we have to move all our furniture and our chest, so I had to unorganize them and just put them in here for now. But I think it actually looks nice here. I decided to go with some warp slabs and the size of the roof, just because I didn't have too much material, and it also ended up looking really nice matching the cobblestone. I also decided to use nether bricks from the fortress, but that doesn't matter now, because on day 72 is when we try to get a silk touch pickaxe. I really wanted to get a silk touch pickaxe because I think we can make some really nice mushroom houses. It's kind of annoying though. I have all these wooden shovels with efficiency 1, but it doesn't really matter because overall we got our silk touch pickaxe. I decided to mine one of the red mushrooms because the other mushrooms don't look too nice, and I wanted to make a little house for a little mushroom village. I don't know if I can complete that village, but make sure to comment for 200 days so I can. Day 73 to 78 was finally finishing the house and also abusing my cow. I was trying to calculate how much blocks to go on the opposite side. Decided to do matching designs so it's corresponding. I also added some crimson slabs around it because it added a little nice touch to it. I decided to start working on the roof. I was on the verge of finishing this house. The phantoms were getting annoying though. But after I did these lanterns, it was finally done. Look how nice it looks in the distance. Anyway, from day 79 to 81, I enchanted my diamond chestplate. I also spent way too much time trying to make a banner design. I really wanted to make something to go with the armor, and I just spent so long doing it. But overall, I was really happy, and I put it on my shield. It looked really cool overall, and it really matched enchanted armor. Look at that. I also did end up making that shulker box from the end. These days, I started working on my mushroom village. I spent a lot of time trying to make a nice design, and I didn't really know how to do it. I wasn't really the best at making mushrooms, as you can tell, but I just was messing around with it, seeing what looked nice, what didn't look nice. But with the materials I had, I went with the warp floor instead of the crimson. Also from the gunpowder I got in mine shafts and dungeons, I was able to craft some fireworks. This was the overall design I went with the mushroom house, and looked pretty nice. I also decided to give it a little mushroom pathway, and it added an extra detail to it. Day 82 to 86, I decided to do some late raiding and go raid a bastion. I found one pretty quick, and I'm hoping to see if there's any ancient debris in it, so I can start netherite farming. Unfortunately, there wasn't any ancient debris, but I found something even better, pig step. I also did find a large amount of gold blocks, which was so helpful, and I ended up leaving with 12 gold. Hey yo, Big Bertha, what are you doing? Day 87 to 93. I thought it would be smart to go get gunpowder from piglins, but then I realized I didn't have any. I also went to go find somewhere to strip mine, and that was not the spot. While I was making a strip mine down, I found 2 blocks of ancient debris, which I don't know why is some of the luckiest things that's happened to me. I've been really lucky this playthrough, and I'm really surprised. Since I didn't have any TNT, I thought of a strategy, and that's strip mine and then break around. It actually did work really well. I did separate layers and found so much ancient debris. I found over 10 pieces in the first 30 minutes. If I ever need to go get some more ancient debris in a different playthrough, I'm definitely using the strat if I run out of TNT. I was considering going back since my pickaxe was low, but I decided to keep going because then I can repair it and get a netherite pickaxe as well as a sword. I did end up leaving my strip mine and I actually got stuck. I mined so much I lost track of where I was going. I did find my way back though, and once I got to the overworld, I started smelting those ancient debris as quick as I can. Once it was smelted, I realized I had 6 pieces of netherite. This means I could get netherite tools and armor. I'm finally covered in ancient debris. Day 94 to 98 was me grinding wither skulls. I really needed to get these and this would take a while. And it did, but I finally got enough. Day 99 to day 100. This was me getting prepared for the final battle. I also made another mushroom house while I was at it, but I went to the piglin to go get some more arrows and killed some more mushroom so I can get tons of food. After that, I was finally ready. I was ready to take on the wither. We killed the wither and got the nether star. This means we can create a beacon on day 100. I want to do this before the day ends, so that's what I did. I decided to mine down and place the beacon on the bashing gold. This is where it all started, and now the beacon's here in the lake. From day 1 to day 100, we've made so much progress. Welcome everyone to day 101. So I spent this day mainly just getting caught. I'm really hoping to get a lot of progress done in these 100 days, including killing the wither. Day 102 to 105, I kidnapped a zombie pigman, and I decided, let's give him the worst name possible. And I thought Gerald, and I'm sorry any Gerald people out there, but weirdly, I was actually going back after naming him Gerald, and I spotted a skeleton horse next to my base. But it was really weird because he didn't have a skeleton on him. So I think he spawned a few days ago and the skeleton died and like burned. I'm only 5 days in and I've already kidnapped 2 different animals. I went fishing for a while to see if I can actually get some books. But after a while, I realized I couldn't get any here. But that's fine because I just started to make a furnace room. You know, I didn't make a furnace room in day 100. It was just a little shack. So let's change that. I just decided to make a little box and add some detail to it. And I added 3 different types of furnaces. Day 106, I decided to make a horse stable because I care about my animals. Like I've never abused a mob in Minecraft. Day 107 to 108, I decided to go mine out this chunk so I can get some stone. This was for plants for my farm. And damn, look at that sexy beacon. I just want to kiss it. Day 109, I kind of spent most of the time looking for hoglin farms on YouTube. Yeah. Day 110 to 112, I was just spending my time making a tunnel to get to the hoglin farm. And I realized it's useless. I don't need it at all. But we did eventually get to where we wanted and we got above bedrock. Thankfully, I bought obsidian. Otherwise, this would have been so painful. Imagine if I didn't bring it, I just get stuck up on bedrock. I was also kind of curious to see where the nether portal went, and it was all mushroom. I'm quite smart. Day 113 to 124 were very painful, but we made a hoglin farm. This took so long to do because this is actually my first farm. Once I placed all the torches, I knew I finally finished, and hoglins started spawning. There may have been a few bugs though. Day 125 to 126. I AFK'd for a while and I got some food, so, I mean, day 127 was finally time I left. I finally fixed that Hoglin farm, but oh my god, it was so, no. Day 128 to 129, I enchanted my diamond shovel, but I kind of wanted an efficiency full one, so I went and mined quartz. This was actually really good, because I can use all these quartz. I'm definitely going to use it for my base, but that's probably going to be a while, like, until the end of the video. But I also grabbed some other materials, you know, might need them as well. And that's what I did. I got some blocks of quartz, and most likely gonna get more. Day 130, I decided to put efficiency 4 onto my pickaxe. Well, my book for now, but you get the point. But once I put efficiency 5 onto the shovel, I thought it was time to landscape the area. I decided it would look really cool if there's a quartz outline, because no one likes whatever this area is, whatever the grass. I don't even know what it's called, I hate it. But that's not the important thing. I may have accidentally killed Gerald. Honestly, never liked him anyways, piece of shit. I decided to use tons of different quartz, like chiseled quartz and others, just to make the area look nicer. And this was the final outcome of the outline. It ended up looking really nice. Day 131 to 132 was working on a little project I thought of. I thought this would be a really cool concept, so I decided to go get materials for it. I also did an outline for it as well. And I did this with quartz, but I did that bottom with dirt. But I realized, you know what looked nice? Some oak wood. So I went to the mine shaft, and that's what I did. I grinded as much oak wood as I could. Also just loot, but it was pretty useless to me, not gonna lie. And I had to deal with cave spiders, and oh my god, I hate them. Day 133 was base working time, and I decided to replace the dirt with wood. I also needed to cover the inside with dirt so all the water went away. And this is how it went. Day 134 to 137 was a little break. I decided to stop working on my base for a while, so I just kind of spent this time enchanting wooden shovels. I could have probably used a grimstone, but this is what I did, and I got the silk touch. But I was still far away from getting it. I needed tons of quartz, so like me, I get caught. And like all these piglins try to jump me, you know, so they had a meeting with death. But I decided to keep grabbing more quartz and killing even more piglins. Once I finally came back after tons of exploring, I was able to enchant my silk touch pickaxe, because this silk touch pickaxe is going to be so good for getting gold in the Nether. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I also decided why not get feather falling on my boots. Like, I need it. Day 138 to 144, I went back to the Nether and went to go grab some materials, including glowstone. But my main priority was gold. This was very important. With the silk touch pickaxe, I'd get one whole gold ingot. And why are all these piglins jumping me? I'm actually going to lose my mind. I can't deal with these stupid Anyway, after a while, I went back and smelted these Nether ore. You know, I need to get a big gold beacon. I wanted to get even more stuff onto this beacon. And this was not the only beacon I was planning on getting. So that's what I spent for a while, just going up and down and getting more. I also did several trips back to the Nether to get more, including this time with my skeleton horse. And oh boy, this was such a mistake. So, guys, please don't hate me. I'm sorry. After that, I just went to go get some iron. I didn't even want to go back to the Nether. That just ruined my day. You know, he doesn't even drop food if he dies. Okay, that's a little messed up. I just got some iron pieces, but for now, this will do. Day 145 to 52. I'm glad I did all that quartz mining, because I was about to make these rooms, and this is how it went. I finished the inside of the mushroom room, but now all we have to do is the outside. This is what I prioritized. I spent lots of time just going through different types of designs, and eventually I was happy with it. 153 to 54, you know I go for the extreme. I wanted a magma room, and the reason why was magma. Like, well, it's lava, but like, shut up. It was painful. But anyway, besides that, I moved all the chests down to the lower room, and I had to move all my loot down here as well, so this took a while. I was really happy with how this looks. Day 155 to 66, and you may be wondering, what took you this long? Well, I was mining obsidian for a long time. I was using this obsidian for a really good reason. I love obsidian, you know? Designs of that is honestly the biggest flex. But I spent most of this time because I needed to kill endermen. I needed ender pills to go to the end city. My goal was to get mending loot. I want better enchantments, and I can't get those unless I go back. So here's a montage. Why are there so many? No, this is stupid. This is so stupid. Why is there so many? I found my first mending loot, a diamond chestplate and a diamond shovel. This was going on the right track. All I had to do was fight some more. I now have a diamond chestplate with mending. I'm pretty close to full armor. I decided that full armor wasn't worth it, but a diamond chestplate and helmet is good for now. Day 167 to 176 was netherite farming time. I had no TNT or nothing else besides a weak netherite pickaxe, but I need to get more because I want to enchant these bad boy. I want to get all this netherite loot. I need it, and this will probably be the last time I'll actually need to go netherite farming. So I went full out and got all my enchantments, enchanted everything, and all I had to do was just enchant them together. I even got a netherite axe and a netherite shovel. Like, that's just so unnecessary, but it's all looking good. I now got a netherite mending chestplate, and I didn't really think I needed my other one after that. The reason why I had to go back in the end cities though is because I was low on food. So why not visit the Hoglin food farm? This meant we had to go AFK again for 3 days. That's not too long, and hopefully we won't need to come back. Well, we got spare time. You guys should subscribe, I mean. Day 181, I decided to continue working on my base. I just wanted to add some little details, you know. My base was kind of lacking right now, and this needed to be changed. I care so much about how my base looks, it's not funny. And I decided, you know, let's use a baskel design, just do it for the railway track, add a top, but I think I decided changing this. It kind of looked weird. Also, I decided to change the floors. I don't know why. I want to do it obsidian base. That's my idea. Thinking of just an obsidian floor all around it. I decided to put crayon obsidian on the other part, and I also decided to make more bridgeways so we can get to places quicker. Also made an opposite side for the obsidian portal. I just did a simple design, nothing too techy, just some cool black and white. I felt like it was kind of cool because once you go through the front, it just completely changes, and I'm not sure if I can do it in this 200 days, but I might make a futuristic world. So like and comment if you want to see that. Also just went and grabbed some resources because I decided let's make a nether base, and that's what I did. From day 182 to day 190 I worked on this nether base. I tested some designs out and I looked at some on Google, but I thought this would be a cool design. Also had mini gas, like oh, you're so annoying. That was probably loud. I'm sorry guys, but let's start the nether base. I made it inside too, where I would do a double portal. I ended up doing side pillars too. Unfortunately, I couldn't finish the left side one, but that's okay for now. My focus was just to make it higher and higher. I wanted it to look decently nice, so I had to work on a frame, which took me a while, but I eventually got it. Now was time to actually work on the walls. And the nether base, for example, is done. I have no idea if I change this in the future, but this is how it's going to be for now. I'm really liking it so far, and I'm planning to make it look even better in the future. So if you want 300 days, make sure to work on this. Day 191, I was clearing these ugly mushrooms, and I spotted a wandering traveler, which had jungle saplings. They also had some birch saplings, but no one likes birch saplings. Birch trees are made by the devil himself. But after ranting about birch trees, I also got some sugarcane. Might as well start a sugarcane farm. This means I can get paper instead of going to the stronghold every time I need some. Since I have one jungle sapling, I made an area for it. This is probably going to be like a little jungle biome over in my Minecraft base. Day 192 to 193 was me continuing this, making a white outline so it looked a little bit nicer, because I have to get rid of this mycelium dirt. It's awful. Like, I'm doing you guys a favor. And there we are, our first jungle tree. I obviously had to go break the leaves, you know. I need to go get another sapling, which I eventually did get free of, which was better than 2, so I am not complaining. This will do for now. That's what I spent most of those days doing. I just kind of grinded until I got a jungle sapling. Also, my sugar cane started growing, so I decided to make it longer. Thankfully, those jungle saplings were worth it. I was able to get some big trees by getting 4 saplings, and this started to look really nice. Another thing that started to look really nice is me making this outline. I wanted to make an obsidian outline around my farm. I just kind of wanted to spread that obsidian, you know? That's what I spent that night doing. I just broke it down, broke all that awful mycelium, replaced that outline with quartz, and started making it look even nicer. I think I need to add something else to it, but I'm not sure yet. Day 194, I thought of an idea. Why don't I make tons of different areas? You know that one episode from Adventure Time with all the elements? Yeah, kind of like that. So I decided to make a little mushroom area next to the obsidian part, and just decided to outline it with quartz as well. This made it look much nicer and stick out. And it also needed some lanterns. This just made it look much nicer. And I also found out what I needed. It was glowstone. But on the following day, 195, I decided to work on the top of the enchantment room. I wanted to add a little bit of detail. It was kind of boring for a center room. I also got some phantom membrane, so if I need to repair elytra, I'm fine. I also decided to do lanterns on the jungle biome too, and I do not regret it. It looks so nice. I was really speedrunning these days since there's only a few left. From day 196, I decided to make a warped biome. It was pretty simple, but it looked good. I had to spend the next days though, just finishing it, but that's not all I did. From day 197 to 199, I went and enchanted my books. I was mainly trying to get a looting book because I need to go get wither skulls. I'm really late on this, so I need to get it quick. This meant I have to go get quartz as well, so I rushed and got as much quartz as I could. And this took a while, like a day, but immediately as I got it, I just ran to the Nether and got as much wither skulls as I can. And that's what I did. I got my 3rd wither skull and got back, because on day 200 is the day I fight the wither. I was prepared, tons of hours for this. I decided to go hit the wither with my sword. I realized I got him low, and this meant it was my time to strike. Only a few moments remaining. The wither is finally killed.
We had finally survived 100 days, so I go and get up to the top, but to realize something still didn't feel right. Why is there an earthquake? Look! What is going on? No! No! No, 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 no!
I'm Desisco, and I have to survive 100 days in a modded cave-only world. That means there's no trees or villages, and thousands of monsters roam around this world. But I forgot to mention, there's hundreds of new ores. But beware, some of them are so risky to get, you will get killed. Am I able to survive 100 days in this deadly cave world? Also, if you really enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it so much if you could subscribe. It's free, and you can unsubscribe whenever you want. Day 1, I've fallen down into this cave-only world and I get charged by a zombie instantly. I have to go kill it, obviously. But where we are right now won't do, so we have to go find a mine shaft, which we actually quickly did. And when I went down there, I just went and grabbed some wood first so we can make a crafting table. I really need to get prepared by making a pickaxe and everything, because who knows what leaks in this modded world. We started with getting some stone tools and got even more wood and some aluminum ore. But we needed coal to smelt all this aluminum, so I went to go and mine some coal, which doesn't take long. We went to go get some iron while it's smelting as well. These ores are going to be so important when I travel. Who knows what monsters are leaking out there. But it's fine because we went to go grab our aluminum ingots and put the iron in. While we do that, we're going to go make some aluminum tools, such as like a pickaxe and an aluminum sword. We were low on hunger though, and we really need to get some food. On the way, we found some amethyst leaving the cave. This could be useful. On day 4, I found an area to stay for now, and I had to use all this bone meal just to make a little bit of bread. After that, I had to go kill these skeletons. This is going to be very hard. I take a hit at one, but I'm only on 1.5 hearts. I go and kill the other one, only one remaining. I have to go charge it. If I die here, I can lose everything. But I thankfully killed a skeleton. Once I was able to get my hearts back after killing all those mobs, I thought let's go build a house. I know it was late for shelter and we didn't need anything good for now, but any shelter will do, especially in this cave-only world. Day 5 though was a pretty simple day. Since I had more hearts, I was more confident fighting mobs. Day 6 was a little different though. Although there's mobs everywhere, I needed to go get wood. And I also grabbed some sugarcane below here. This could be useful. We went home though after killing some mobs and finally made a bed. That string came handy. We also used that amethyst we found to make some amethyst leggings. Now look at us, we have good armor. Day 7 to 11, I created iron ingots and a bucket. These are going to be very important for exploring the world, and especially if I want to find a new home. Although I found some cool land, I want to find somewhere better. That was just a temporary home. Anyway, I looked around and I found this cave. I really thought it would look cool if I added some dirt to it and make it a little floor. So that's what I did. I used my shovel and grabbed all this dirt. It was really worth it. After a while I finally got it done and it looked really nice. Day 12 was the hard part though, and that was moving to this area. I had to make a bridge to get to it and grab all my wheat, but I noticed there's a horse. I could have gone and tamed it, but unfortunately there are just too much mobs everywhere. I decided to go back since there's so many. I used those crops that I had to go start a farm over at my new base. Day 13 to 15 was actually starting to build our base, and since I really cared about how it looked, I spent a lot of time on this doorway. I decided to use a little bit of the wood we had too, but also smelted most of our stone. Just made it look really nice, and overall it looks really cool. If you guys like how it looks so far, make sure to comment it's nice. Funny enough, I finally found some animals that actually didn't want to kill me. Who would expect that? But I didn't want these sheep and cow to get away, so I decided to quickly make a little farm. I know it's not good, but anything will honestly do for now. But then a creeper blew it up. Like, no! But it really shows how dangerous this world is, so I have to be more careful. I fixed it up and went to go grab some more iron. This will be helpful for our adventure. And on this adventure, we went to go find another mine shaft. We needed more wood, and we found a lot. This mine shaft had stripped oak logs, so we grabbed a lot of those and made a furnace. We can finally go smelt our iron and grab more. So this is what I spent a lot of the time doing. I don't think we ever need to worry about wood again. Thankfully. But when I was going back to the furnace, I found like this goblin creature. I'm just gonna call him Midget Shrek. Anyway, Midget Shrek wanted to trade with me. He had all these like totally good trades. And I actually ended up getting some gravel because we need this for some arrows. So I spent some time doing that. Also killed him because he's kind of useless. Piece of trash. Day 21 to 28, we still continue our adventure, but we decide to go mining. We can finally get some more ores and hopefully get better armor. We decide to go down into a deeper area, into a black stone cave. But I need to be more careful down here. I get attacked by a zombie and I wasn't even prepared. He could have shot me into the lava, but thankfully I did. I also wasn't prepared here, and I see another zombie jump on me, but I'm 1.5 hearts. I go and take him down, thankfully though. That could have been bad. We also found a new ore called sapphire. I don't know if this is going to be useful, but might as well take it. We also grabbed some more aluminum and sapphire, but we also find some peridot. This was actually really good ore, so when I found this, I was really lucky. I also get attacked by a skeleton, which I had no idea where it was, until I eventually found it and killed it. Piece of trash. But something that isn't trash though is this peridot. I only got 3 pieces, but that will be good. We decided to go make a peridot sword, which does 10 attack damage, and also some more aluminum armor. Look at us, we look great. We also decided to leave after that long trip and decided to finally go home. Psych! We decided to go into a brand new cave. We wanted new ores such as ruby and others, because you wanna go home? That's weak. Anyway, we found diamonds, which are great, and we didn't find just one strip of diamonds, we found another one underneath sapphire. This was so good as both of them were 8 vines. We also went and grabbed this obsidian. We decided to leave though after that. Day 29, we're finally at home, and I spend this day using my stripped oak logs to make my wall. I really want a cool wall, so I ended up using some brick slabs as well. This is gonna look great. And eventually, it was actually done. Now look at that, I like that. But we need to add something better. And you know what? Water door. You ask why? Because yes, I like water doors. Guys, I'm sorry. Since we've made that wall and made a good door, we can go and continue our build. I decided to use some oak slabs and got some chests because we need to be prepared for whatever happens. So a good base is important. But one thing that wasn't good though was all the sheep were out of their prison, home. And it was because of this Enderman. He managed to place a block perfectly where they could get out. I had to go kill him. But my dumbass forgot to bring a shield. I had to run back inside. Thankfully this water door will not let him come in. After getting prepared though and finally coming back out, I had no idea where the Enderman went, so I left him. But continuing our building streak, on day 40 to 43, I decided to go make a Nether room. We decided to go use this cave that originally was next to us and just add this portal. It's looking pretty nice after adding a few amethyst blocks that I got from mining, as well as decorating it with some wood and some brick. And while I'm finishing the portal room, if you enjoyed so far, I'd appreciate it if you leave a like and subscribe. But look at this portal room, it's looking really nice and I can't wait to go to the Nether. The real question is, what roams in the Nether? I have no idea. We decide to go in and I see gas approach ahead of us, already shooting at us first thing. I decide to go hit it back until I kill it. I need to explore, but I need to be more cautious. Now, I decide to go grab some bone blocks though, as these can be important for our farm. I spent a while doing this. But after that, I decided to go and roam around even more. Me being a very clumsy person, this was not a good idea. But I decided to risk it and going to grab some glowstone. After that, I decided to continue going, but I noticed there's a fire goblin on the floor. I don't know why he's attacking me. I wonder what other monsters roam in the Nether. We'll have to find out. Since I finally killed that gas, I was actually in peace in the Nether. Surprisingly, I decided to go try take that fire golem home because he could be really valuable. He had really good trades and we can use that in the future. Maybe like if you comment 200 days, that's a good idea, but that's not important right now. We decided to use that bone meal we got for the farm and keep our goblin. From day 49 to 57, I start the day by trading with this goblin. We ended up getting 6 emeralds which could be useful in the future. But right now, we want to go back into a cave. We find another goblin and even more peridot. And also another moment of Dezisco nearly killing himself. Yeah, that happens frequently. But after that, I decided to go leave the cave. I ended up finding a few mobs too after we leave. But when I go past, I find this brand new area. I had no idea what it was. It was an underwater dungeon or something. I get attacked by a skeleton, but I'm able to hit it back, and I shoot my final strike. I kill the skeleton and take some of the note blocks, and then another one comes. I decide to use the water to my advantage and go around it. I get hit once, I get hit twice, but I kill it. And then I decided I need to leave there. I decide to go back in my boat, but find even a bigger dungeon. And I fall in, unprepared. I keep sinking in deeper and deeper, until I nearly fall into a lava pool. That was close to death. Thankfully that water covered it and made it obsidian. But that obsidian is useless to this dungeon. I have to go conquer it. There's mobs everywhere and I have to go kill them now. I take one down and I see more skeletons. There's actually a spawner, so I have to go break that too. I take another one down and I go and break the spawner. Unfortunately it did not have that much good loot. But that doesn't matter. As long as we conquered this dungeon, it wouldn't be a worry in the future. We continue our journey though, looking around and find a cave. I went to go in and I found another dungeon. That achievement's right, because now that is a dungeon. We decide to go down and there's a massive skeleton army there. I get hit once and I have slowness. Now I'm worried. But I'm Dezisco and I have 5.5 hearts. I can take this. I see both those skeletons bunched up, so I decide to go block it and mine the dungeon spawner. But I take one down and then the other one down after. It had good enchantment books as well. That was so worth it. We can come out here with a sharpness enchantment as well. That was a good adventure. But now we finally need to get home. Day 58 to 60, our sheep need feeding. They haven't been fed in a long time, like 20 days? They also seem to get a new friend when I'm gone. I guess they're gone now. Anyway, that dungeon I went to, it had a lot of railway parts, since the water broke them all. This meant I could actually have transport to get to the top of this world to the bottom, so this was going to be handy. I just had to build it first, which took a lot of cobblestone. It's fine though because we had enough rails for it, and it even made a little raft place for our boat. This is going to look nice. We just need to add some redstone torches, which I crafted way too many, and it was done. And it looks great. Very, very dangerous, but it works. But guys, let's be honest, it's probably safer than half the roller coasters in America. Like, I know it doesn't have any supporting things and it's floating, but day 61, actually, I didn't really do that much. I just kind of made an enchantment table. But day 62 to 72, and yes, there's a lot of these, I went on another adventure. So that roller coaster came really helpful, and it was another cave adventure. Let's go exploring. I wanted to go mining though. I wanted to find some new materials. And we did. We found topaz, but I was about to drown. But it was so worth it, because once we got up, I got one piece of it, which is actually good. There were also tons of mobs to fight, but that was fine because I took them down. While in the water, we also found some diamonds, so I spent some time grabbing those as well, and then going out of it. But I needed iron for anvil, so we mined some iron, got some more diamonds, and mined even more iron. After that, I found a powerful ore. Not diamonds, but an ore called titanium. I need topaz to mine this. Although it looks like coal, it is very, very strong. Once I found some more topaz and mined it, I decided to make a topaz pickaxe. I really hope I'm saying that right. But after that, we found even more diamonds. There's just a lot of diamonds in this cave. But that wasn't even all the diamonds. There were more. So I used some pro Minecraft parkour, grabbed some peridot, and then grabbed the diamonds. After that, I decided to go mine some of the titanium. This took ages to mine, but it was so worth it. After mining a few pieces of titanium, I found more. Surprisingly, ores like this were really common in this cave. I ended up even finding more diamonds and decided to go back up and find even more topaz. This is going to be great for fights in the future. I ended up making some topaz armor, and I also have lots of titanium. But bad news, the footage corrupted, but I got knocked into the lava by a mob. It was fine though, because I just survived. Once that happened though, I really wanted to get out. I needed to go home. That was a good mining trip. Day 73 to 76, I came home from the mining trip, and I decided to go pimp our house up a little bit. Like with all those ores, I decided to go add some blocks of diamond, just to flex on you. I also used pistons to decorate the area, but something interesting, I made a titanium pickaxe and went war on my sheep. They love me. That's why I'm using all these tools like a titanium sword on them. But anyway, I decided to make some armor stands. This would look really cool with some new armor, such as amethyst and ruby. Out of these caves is really chaotic, so it's really nice decorating the place. I decided to move them though and put them next to an anvil. We named our sword the Zest Gold and added sharpness 5 to it. On day 77 though, it was a pretty simple day. I enchanted some of my tools and made a titanium chestplate. I enchanted all of these as well. Now I'm very... But are we prepared enough for day 78 to 90? We go back to Nether and grab some quartz, but you will not be prepared for what I find. While I'm finding some ghast, I notice a fortress, but also a ghast prison. I decide to go in, but I'm already getting fired shots at. I decide to go down gently, maybe this might be the way. But oh, I was wrong. There were ghast warriors everywhere. Everywhere I looked, there were even more. I had to go and fight them and slay them while I was on fire. This was pure chaotic. I had no idea what to do. I decided to go and hide for a little bit. That might have to be the strategy. After fighting them for a bit, I decided to go break the first ghast spawner. This might help us, but honestly, not during this mayhem. There's just fire everywhere and there's shots coming from every angle. I start shooting at one of the ghast, and I decide to take another spawner down. Only a few more to go. Still tons of ghast everywhere though. I have to be careful. But why don't we use our ghast prison to our advantage? Although there's tons of ghast, we can build from the inside of it and get to the top. I decided to take a few shots at the prisoners and kill them. They honestly were doing nothing, but it was pretty funny. We decided to go loot one of the chests, which weren't that great, and went back to the floor. There's tons of shots, so we decided to go lower and find another skeleton. There's also really good loot in here, so we had to take some of that. But of voicing good loot, we needed some good luck. We needed to get up here without getting hit by ghast, and that was going to be hard. Although I just used that ghast hit to the advantage since it got me further. I opened one of the chests and it just had some gold carrots, and I broke the last spawner. We got hit by a ghast and I catch myself. And then again, we finally leave the ghast prison and decide to continue to the fortress. This would still be hard though. There's still skeletons and blazes everywhere, and I absolutely hate these things. I had to be careful and not lose my hearts. Thankfully, I had good luck and was getting tons of blaze rods. I killed another one and got my 6th blaze rod. After that, I was ready to leave. We can go home. But the days are adding up quick. We need to finally go slay this ender dragon before the 100th day hits. We need to use our eyes of ender to actually find it first. So after ages, and I mean ages of looking, we even ended up fighting a dungeon. But this dungeon could have ended up badly. Thankfully, I was able to knock that skeleton into the water, leading me to find the stronghold. I I decided to go in. The stronghold was so corrupted, so I had to look around for a while to find the portal room. But we eventually found a library. This had some good enchantments, and that distracted me for a while. But we didn't want that for too long. We wanted to grab some books and then leave. But after a while of searching, even had to break the doors just to go find it, we found the portal room. We decided to place the Eyes of Ender and go in. Ender Dragon, we're here. I decided to build over and get to the top and realize there's tons of infected zombies also here. This was going to make the fight much harder, but that's nothing to stop me. I decided to kill them and start shooting shots at some of the End Crystals. The Ender Dragon is low though and it's taken a lot of my hearts. This wasn't a worry though, as I take the first one out and slay even more of these infected creatures. I then take another End Crystal out. This was going great. I was certain everything was going well. All we had to do was wait for the Ender Dragon to come down. Nothing could go wrong, right? I saved myself with the water bucket. The MLG water bucket clutch really living up to its name. I thought the Ender Dragon had no chance now. I saw the Ender Dragon come down and I thought we finally won. Until it shot me up. But I saved myself again with the MLG water bucket. It was defeat for the Ender Dragon. I shoot the final shots and kill the Ender Dragon. We've done it. We've freed the End. On day 100, I knew I won.
So I went and jumped into the portal. What is happening to me?
100 days of Minecraft hardcore. Now let's take that even further. In this video, I have to survive 100 days of Minecraft hardcore as a pillager. I have 3 objectives. 1. To raid every village. 2. To slay the Ender Dragon, the village's secret weapon. And 3. To slay my own tribe. Wait, what? Anyway guys, if you really wanted to support the channel, it would mean so much if you could subscribe. My goal is to hit 100k this year, and you can also help that by liking the video. Anyway, let's get in. Day 1 woke up as me being a pillager. I just got abandoned by my tribe, so they gave me a little bit of loot before I leave. I decided to get down their pillager base, and they even threatened to shoot me if I didn't leave now, so I decided to run away. Since I came out with basically nothing, I gathered some resources and made a stone pickaxe as well as an axe. If I'm a pillager, this will be very good. Once I got that done, I needed to go get wood. So I went and grabbed some spruce wood, because this will do for now. Just a few more pieces while the sun goes down. I then decided to go craft a boat and travel a bit. It eventually got dark and I found this new biome I've never been to. I made sure to grab some of the wood. Right after that though, I went and pillaged every animal in this biome. I'm making sure nothing survives. And once I got enough wool from pillaging all of them, I made a bed. From day 2 to 3, I found this rose biome that I had to take down. Nothing's meant to look pretty here. I killed every sheep I saw in sight. Right after that though, I charged into a cave and grabbed some of the coal. I really need to get coal now to go cook all this food. I was really hoping for more resources, but it ended up being a dead end. After that, I crafted a furnace to cook up all this delicious food, and then I decided to go chop down trees. And then my axe broke, so I decided to sleep. Day 4 to 9 were very long. I went to go grab my bed and went on a long adventure. I ended up doing a very risky jump and I just landed. Guys, comment how risky that was. After being a dumbass, I went into a cave though and went to go grab some iron. Finally some better ore besides stone and coal. Once I go grab all that, I go and place my furnaces and put the iron in. I went down and grabbed even more, as well as more coal to smelt it. After I got some iron tools, I can leave the cave. Since I'm more geared up and prepared, I'm gonna go find somewhere to live now. As a pillager with no home and no tribe, I have to find somewhere nice and isolated. Then we can go take down a village. When the sun came up from day 10 to 12, I looked at the snowy biome and I really liked it. I decided let's go build our house on top of this mountain. This took a while to get up, and I also went and stopped to grab some resources because I'm not going down realizing I had no resources. Once we got to the top of the mountain though, the view looked amazing and I knew I had to build my pillage base up here, and from the rest of these days I decided to go do that. It ended up looking really nice, adding some logs, and I eventually added the top. Once I was done, I was really happy with a simple pillage outpost. Day 13, I planned to do the inside of the pillage outpost. After that, I needed to get prepared though. I was getting ready to go raid my first village, but then I thought I was going to be raided by these pillagers. Thankfully they were not part of my tribe, they hate me. Anyway, I went to go gear up and I decided to go down my mountain and explore. I decided to do it the worst way possible and decided to MLG boat. Oh, this is going to go so wrong. Surprisingly not. I ended up landing that and I could not believe it. I'm definitely using water to land it next time. You have to like the video after seeing that. While it was starting to get night, I went to go grab some coal and I finally found the village. Once I realized that, I thought of a plan and went to go grab some string. You'll find out why soon. Once I killed both of these spiders, I went crafted a crossbow and decided to kill some chickens. Without any feathers, how am I going to use it? Since it was day 14 now, I went and crafted my arrows and decided to go in the village. And you may be wondering what my plan was. Well, that was to go underneath the village. I decided to go underneath the village by breaking some dirt and started to raid the first house. Once I realized I was underneath it, I jumped up, but I couldn't catch the librarian in time. Thankfully, I just started griefing the house and went to go grab some books. Once that librarian alerted the village, I went into a new house and started griefing it. I had to grief everywhere and I decided to charge out and decided to kill my first villager. I took him out and now it's time to go grief everywhere. I run around and start griefing every place I see. I even watched some of the villagers die in pain. But the pillager I am, I love it. I went and stole their emeralds as well, and some of their food. I ended up having to take the iron golem out. This was hard, but I eventually killed him. If you know pillagers, they have no mercy. I went and watched the village burn, as well as killing the last survivors. Although, I thought everything was done, until I saw this giga cave. It was massive. I couldn't resist going inside of it. From day 15 to 22, I went into the cave. It was quite a big cave, so there's lots of ore everywhere. I went and grabbed some gravel as well for more future arrows, as well as grabbing some iron. Once I went down further into the cave, I found even more iron and some gold. This was looking really nice. I might even be able to find diamonds if I'm lucky. Once I go down there, I find more iron and even some lapis. I also found this red cobblestone, which I went and grabbed. It looked really cool and I can use it for decoration. I also went and smelted all that iron and made iron armor. Although I'm a pillager, I need to be geared up at all times. I went looking around and I found even a deeper cave with a mine shaft. I decided to go in and took some of the mine tracks. Since I was an abandoned pillager, I have to prove my tribe wrong. I'm gonna make a way better pillager base than them and even slay more tribes. And these diamonds that I find after mining coal will help me. Once I realized the diamonds, I mined all 4 of them and then my pickaxe broke. Once that happened, I decided to go up. Guess we can use these diamonds for a pickaxe though. After a while, we eventually got to the top, and I didn't really have a way to get back up, so I had to use tons of my stone to get back. It was kinda annoying. I guess we have to create a solution for this, but for now, we're gonna climb up this mountain and get back to our pillage outpost. Day 23, I kinda went AFK, but I ended up making my diamond pickaxe like I said, and some arrows. Day 24 to 28 were much different though. I went and grabbed some wood, and I planned to go make my wall around my base. This was going to look so good. From day 29 to 33, my plan was to go make a mine to the bottom of this mountain until that plan had to change. Once I grabbed my iron shovel and broke all the snow, as well as continuing the mine down and mining all of this stone, I had a little problem. And that problem was, this mine goes out of the mountain. But then I thought of a solution. How about we use this mine to go make a staircase back to the bottom? This means we can find an easier way to get down and back up. After a while of grabbing stone and placing it to make a stairway, I even had to grab some stone from the mountain. We eventually finished it. I was so happy. From day 34, since I've done a lot of building around the base, I think it's time for some more exploring and villages to burn. I decided to leave the base and I went into this new biome. I didn't know much about it since I took some berries and got poisoned. I'm not doing that again. But after a while of traveling, I went and found some more wood. This was going to be good since we needed a lot back for our home and even for this adventure. Once we grabbed some more, I went to go pillage the area. I don't like any animals, especially sheep. After murdering sheep like the killer I am, I found a nether portal with 2 golden axes. Since I was a pillager, I love these. I also grabbed some obsidian and looked around and found a wildfire. Since I loved arson, I just couldn't resist. I went and placed my flint and steel everywhere. I wanted to start a forest fire, and look how beautiful that was. My pillagers would be so proud of me. You know, after a typical day of being a pillager and committing arson, it was time to go to sleep. After traveling for a bit, I found another snow biome, and from day 45 to 42, I went and ventured this village. I decided to go in by sneaking around and eventually found tons of emeralds. I had to grab those. I also went and traded with a fisherman. I gave him mercy, just for now, because right after that, I set some things on fire and started placing lava everywhere. My plan was to cover this place in lava. Since I only had one lava bucket, I had to be smart though. The villagers were terrified, but I loved it like the deadly pillager I am. I even killed the iron golem, but nearly killed myself. Thankfully the fire went out. After a while I collected some blue leaves as well as finding a spruce village where I attacked this iron golem and nearly died. Thankfully I used my crossbow and just take it out. After realizing I was low, I decided to go smoothly take out this village. After killing some villagers at the temple and went into the chest and found some iron, a saddle, as well as a few emeralds. I also went and grabbed this TNT for educational purposes, I promise. But since I was a deadly pillager and wanted even more, I needed better transport to get away. I eventually tamed this horse, but I don't know what to call my horse. Make sure to comment below what I should call it. Anyway, traveling took a while since we were so far away. From day 43 to 45 was just us traveling. It took ages, but we eventually made it home and I even took the horse up the stairs. Day 46 I looked around and I did not want my horse to die, so I went and quickly made a little pen for it and decided to put my horse inside of there. From day 47 to 56 I wanted to give my horse a nicer view, as well as me, so that's all you need to see. How do I do that? Anyway, I decided to go place the TNT somewhere else. I wanted to show everyone that I don't want to be messed with. I also added some nice decoration like the blue leaves I found all around my base. I even used the gold blocks for my MLG boat, as well as making a little mine track and finishing the top of the pillage outpost. I won't have to worry about anything now, right? On day 57, I finally made an enchantment table. Yes, it took me a while. We also crafted some bookshelves and made this little area on top. I decided to give my pickaxe fortune. On day 58, I realized my plans for the future, and that was a lot of deadly adventures, especially long ones. So I need to go mining and get myself up a bit. I decided to go down and try find a cave. And from day 59 to 64, I went and looted this cave. I went and found a dungeon spawn as well and grabbed some of the loot. It had a little music disc as well as a name tag. The other one didn't have anything great either, but that was fine because I went further down into the cave and eventually after turning this corner I found diamonds. This was so good. This is what I was exactly needing. I went and found out it was a 7 vine. That's so good. Maybe we can even find more. With this fortune, it even makes it more handy. After looking around for a bit, I couldn't find anything. It wasn't looking any better though. I jumped down and accidentally set myself on fire. This could be bad, but thankfully the iron armor that I had saved me. That could have been worse, but I found some diamond armor on the good hand. I ended up making a diamond chest plate as well as a helmet and boots. We only need to find a few more diamonds for max diamond. But we also need an axe, so thankfully after finding the 8 vine of diamonds, I was able to get both of those. We decided to go craft diamond leggings as well as making a diamond axe. Pillagers love their axes, so I was excited. While I had my diamond pickaxe though, I went and grabbed some coal as well before I went back. Days 65 to 77 were very cold days, but I knew it was days since I was at home I could prepare for my massive adventure. I went and enchanted all my diamond armor, got some feather falling on my boots, and some protection. It's not the greatest enchantments, but anything will do. Our pillager was ready to go on an adventure, but knowing me, I had one more thing to do before my adventure, and that was to make a chest room. I went and replaced the snow with wood. Unfortunately, there was so much snowballs everywhere, but it's fine because after a while, we eventually covered it in all of this wood. It ended up looking nice and I started placing chests as well as adding the furnace down here as well. I think we're ready to leave. Day 68 to 84 was the longest adventure I've ever done. I get piercing on my crossbow and grab my horse. This was going to be a longer one. I nearly blew up from a creeper too. But once we got down off this cliff, I realized I had to leave my horse behind. I went and made a boat and left. I traveled from island to island and eventually found a savanna one. This could be good, and after a while of looking around, I ended up finding a oak village. This was good. I went to go grab some hay just so we could get more bread, and after that, I was planning on killing this village. I went and took down the iron golem first and built up and killed it. Once I realized I was ready and it was dark, I decided to make a forest fire. Just like 40 days ago, it was time to go destroy a village. I watched as villages die and burn, and I decided to look at the massive fire and how it spread. It's crazy how one pillager can create the power of thousands of them. It's also cute trying to watch nature thrive after that. But that was not the only village I'm done with. We still have a savannah one to go. I go and place TNT everywhere with the stuff I got from the temple and start blowing it up. It's time to create destruction. Everywhere I look, I place one block of TNT and get ready to set it off. I go and place it and run as fast as I can. I then grief all the other houses and set the last TNT. I go and make a run for it and watch all the destruction happen. After that, I left the village. I decided not to look back. I just need to continue going. I went and found a desert temple and grabbed some of the loot as well as the TNT. We needed to find a better way to loot and destroy this desert village. This was going to be hard, but it was our final village, the final boss. I decided to look around and see what opportunity I have to go blow up this base, and then I thought, it's raining TNT. These villagers aren't ready because I start placing TNT as fast as I can. I go to every building there is in this desert village and place 2 pieces of TNT. I keep running around and watch the destruction continue. The villagers don't even know where it's coming from. And then I realize I found a stack of villagers and I place another 2 pieces and set it off. I go watch the destruction happen and laugh as I see villagers burn and die. This pillager life is quite fun. I was so happy I got abandoned by my tribe. After killing all the leftover villagers and shooting the rest with my crossbow, I charged for the last one, which was so hard to get, but eventually, when the sun set, I killed it. Then I looked around and saw the destruction I did to this village. I wanted something to remember for the last one, so I grabbed a piece of netherrack and placed it in the center of this village, just so everyone can remember who I am. I'm the Zisco, the village slayer. No one can stop me. You see, that's what the Zisco thought at the time. He thought it was all over. But he was so wrong. After boating back to my pillage outpost, I realized my horse was near. I went and stopped at the same bay and saw my horse. I was so excited to see my horse, and it was still here. I grew to love my horse. I missed it so much while I was on this adventure. Hopefully we can have way more adventures in the future as well. But that's not important. We just want to get home. Day 85 was Nether time. Before I left, I decided to give my horse a little present for me leaving. I also placed a bell that I got from that village, as well as finally building the Nether portal. It's time to go slay the Ender Dragon. Day 86 to 88 is when I finally go to the Nether. I go and kill some ghast before I realize they won't attack me. Sorry ghast. But while I continued exploring, I grabbed some quartz and then looked around, and then I realized that I was at the fortress. Once I was already here, I realized that the spawner was here as well. This was really quick, but all I needed to do was kill some blazes. I only needed a few as well, just need some blaze rods and then I can leave. After killing a few, I ended up getting a few more, and even more. This was getting worrying though, since they were getting my hearts low. And I hate blazes. Which mob do you guys hate the most? For me, it's probably blazes, because they get my health so low. Once I got my 6th blaze rod, I knew I had to leave. I was so sick of them. They even nearly killed me again. We eventually went home after that. With all the ender pearls and the blaze rods I had, I crafted Eyes of Ender. I realized it was over the mountains though, so this would take long. I didn't have the gear to get over, but it was fine because after a while, we got there. And we went to this black ice area. It was really weird, but also cool. It's funny enough, because the stronghold was actually here. Once I realized it was, I mined down as fast as I can, and I landed into a ravine. I realized that the stronghold's down here, as well as the library. This was the quickest I've ever found one, but once we were in there, I built up and went to go grab some of the loot. It wasn't the greatest loot, but honestly, anything will do. Since I had to go kill this Ender Dragon though, I had to look around. It was actually the village's secret weapon. They wanted to stop me for good, even though I've taken down every village. But that's not going to stop me, because once I find the Ender portal room, I place the Eyes of Ender, and I'm going to defeat the Ender Dragon. Let's go in. I finally made it to the end. After getting abandoned by my tribe and taking down all the villagers, I can prove everyone wrong. I'm a great pillager, the greatest pillager that there is, and I'm going to prove that by slaying the Ender Dragon. I go and use my crossbow and take one of the end crystals out, but that doesn't mean one's going to be the only one, because I take two, then a third one. My crossbow shots were great. Something that wasn't great though, is after I took this third end crystal out, the Ender Dragon came down and launched me up, but then I faithfully landed on the pillar and almost died. That could have been so much worse. I decided to go take shots at the Ender Dragon, but I need to get down. This was going to be hard though, as I nearly fall and die. Even again, I was on 2 hearts. I eventually get down though on 1.5 hearts. This wasn't looking great, but I'm the greatest pillager, and I'm proving myself. I got the Ender Dragon low and started taking shots at it. After a while of shooting it, it finally came down. I got its health pretty low, but I knew I had to kill it now. I'm so sick of being some rookie villager. I need to prove everything to everyone. I start hitting the Ender Dragon with my axe, and I get her low, and then I kill her. I've done it. The pillager that used to have nobody, the pillager that got kicked out of his tribe, has freed the end. I was so proud of myself. I went and grabbed all the enchantment levels and went down. I thought everything was over, but oh, I was so wrong. So wrong. On day 99, after a long night's sleep, I look around and I notice there's a pillager shooting at me from behind. But I realize what brand that is. That's a villager from my tribe. Why is he hitting me? I had to kill him. I didn't really want to, but I just had to. I didn't want to die from him. I was confused why he hurt me, until I looked down. My old tribe was here, and they weren't here for a good reason. I saw ravagers everywhere. I had to get prepared. I was low already and I saw one getting up the mountain. I ran back up the mountain as fast as I can. I need to grab all my loot and get prepared. I was not ready. I just slayed the Ender Dragon, but I have to get as ready as fast as I can. On day 99, I looked around. Maybe they're here. And I was right. I saw the Ravager at the front of my door, and then pillagers in the back. I decided to go all the way up to the top, and I see Vixies coming after me at fast speeds. I decided to go grab my axe out like the pillager I am, and start taking hits at them. They were really fast though, and I didn't know how to hit them. But after the Vixies leave, I decide to wait for them to come back, until I get knocked down by them and land on my horse. Thankfully, we can use my horse to our advantage. I decided to run down and realize the Ravager's chasing me and takes all my hearts. Now we really need our horse, but for now this will do. We can take hits at the Vixie, and now I can go take shots at the Ravager while it's vulnerable. But then we get knocked down by some evokers and pillagers onto the side of the mountain. Little did they know, I know more about this terrain. I was using my mountain to the advantage. I go and take one of the pillagers down and take the second one. I then go back up on my horse and see the Ravager chasing me. I thought I had this. I was taking a few more shots at him, but the Ravager was getting closer. This was worrying. We were getting real close. I decide to go use my shield to protect myself, and then I see my horse trying to protect me, and then I see my horse being knocked off the mountain. I looked down as I watched my horse died, and went and grabbed its saddle. I want revenge now. I go and take a shot at the leader, and I take him down. After that, I grab the saddle and go all the way back up to see they're all gone. Without their leader, they had to retreat. It was so sad though. I had to go bury my horse and place its saddle. I was so devastated from what the pillagers did to my horse. I was so disgusted by my old tribe. I can't believe I used to be in there. I'm so happy I got out. But what do I do now? After 100 days of being a pillager, I was so sick of this life. I wanted to restart.
I left my home, but realizing something else. I wasn't a pillager. Then who am I? We're about to fall.
I survived 100 days trapped on a jungle island with no loot and enemies around every corner. I need to learn the ways of the jungle, create a ship to escape the island, or I perish like everyone else. First, I need to grab the strongest gear, find the jungle secrets, and survive for 100 days. Day 1 begins and I appear to find myself an island. This isn't an ordinary island though, so I had to get myself out of the water and started grabbing some resources. So we go collect some wood to make a crafting table and make a wooden pickaxe. Also, I played with some pandas since they're going to be the only friendly animals we're going to find. Yeah, this island is really dangerous. And it was becoming night, so I knew being outside was a no-no. Luckily, I found a lava pool which let me get some stone tools. Once I grabbed it, it was dark. Who knows what was out there? Like, what even is that? Thankfully, in this part of the jungle, it was just zombies, so I slayed them easily and went down and built myself a 5-star hotel. out so I can wait till the sun appears. Once it did, I had one objective: get off this island. I went and grabbed everything so I can make a boat and set sail. We grabbed some food too so we don't starve to death, and finally found some water. I then went and crafted a boat. It was time to get off this island, or so I thought.
Wait, no, stop.
Yeah, everything changed when I encountered the corrupted traveler. He knew the secrets of the jungle. Apparently I was not able to leave the island. If I even tried to, I would vanish.
Listen, if you want to leave, you need to take down the god of the jungle.
I wanted to get off this island, and this was my chance, but I stayed. Since we're staying, I went and grabbed some resources. I need to go build a home now. This jungle is so deadly. So I spent day 3 grabbing tons of resources, as well as killing the wildlife on the island. We then begin our travels for a home. I had to build one in a matter of days, otherwise I would perish. Luckily, I found the perfect place to build my house. The area kind of makes me forget that I'm stranded on an island. So I spent the upcoming days building a starter home with the resources I had. It was nothing too special, but it did the job. I also thought our journey was going well, but I was far from right, because while I was putting all my loot in the chest and trying to forget about my problems on day 10, I suddenly hear a loud thud out of nowhere, and then again. I was shocked and frightened. Was that the jungle god? Although it was dark, I went and looked outside. I wanted to make sure I could sleep without being crushed by what that was. I did eventually went outside. After that, I knew I needed to get ores, so I went and left my house and planned to start mining. Shortly after, I found a ravine close to me, and it had that bad boy, so I went down the ravine and noticed a creeper tried to sabotage me. It didn't do well because I jumped over and grabbed all the iron that I needed as well as coal. We also found a new ore called rhonium, so I went and tried smelting it until I noticed this massive black golem. He charged right towards me, so I went and ran. I went and blocked him as well and then smelted my iron. We then got some iron loot and went deeper into the caves. When I went in, I mined some weird purple ore, but I realized there's some deadly mobs inside here, and I underestimated them because they got me down low, but I was able to take them all down. While I was confident, I went deep into the cave to find more loot, but got trapped by a reaper that was blocking my way. So I went and mined through the side until my old friend appeared again.
What are you doing? Leave, you're not ready for this.
Why would I leave this cave? I've already gone so far. I don't know what he was on about, but I continued mining through this cave so I could get some ores, and luckily I found some amethyst as well as this green emerald ore. But collecting ore came to an end when I noticed a boss name appeared called the Green Guardian at the top of my screen. He fires a shot and gets me down to half a heart, but I go heal to protect myself. While I was using my shield to avoid his green flames, I noticed he captured my friend the corrupted traveler.
Don't fight him! Just run!
I listened to what the traveler said because one mistake and I'm dead. I wanted to go back for him though, but I couldn't. I ran without looking back and left him behind. That wasn't the end. I needed to save the traveler, so I began smelting my ores so I can craft the strongest loot. With all the ores I collected, I went and made some limonite tools as well as iron armor. But we needed one more thing, a food source. So I went and gathered some wood and started decorating my house as well as adding a crop farm. And while I still have some time left on day 19, I went and placed some vines and leaves to make my house look more like it belongs in the jungle. Right after that, I grabbed everything we need to travel, such as equipping my iron armor and crafting a brand new sword called the Jade Sword. We then leave and begin to travel to find the Green Guardian. I thought everything would be fine, but oh, was I wrong. Once I started traveling, I looked everywhere to find this beast. I also found this broken down home with some loot that would have been great on day 1. Come on! But I was in luck, because shortly after, I found this jungle temple, and it wasn't any ordinary temple. It's the Green Guardian's base. It wasn't an easy fight though. It was protected by these futuristic creatures. They dealt a lot of damage to me, but I was able to take some of them down until it progressively got harder. I knew with my gear, I would be in shambles when I defeated them all, so my brilliant mind decided to mine underneath into the temple. Eventually, when I had my opportunity, I ran in and went down the stairs and then entered the Guardian's lair. It's time to take you out, the Green Guardian. I used my shield to deflect all his ammunition. I managed to get close and take shots on him. I had to be careful though. One mistake and everything's over. And just like that, the Green Guardian launches me in the air and drops me to 2 hearts. I used my shield for as long as I can and realized it was getting low. Luckily, I had some iron with me, so I crafted another shield and started attacking the Guardian again. I hit the Guardian again and again until my shield breaks and he lowers me to 3 hearts. I went and made a new shield though and came back stronger than ever. I keep hitting shots and shots as the Green Guardian, wanting revenge for the corrupted traveler, until the point where he gets me to 1 heart. This could be the end, but the Guardian was low and I was never gonna give up. I start firing shots until my shield breaks. It's anyone's game now, but I eventually kill the Green Guardian and slay the beast. I didn't notice. Wait, is that you? The corrupted traveler. I realize he's still alive, so I go rescue him from his prison.
Wait, you saved me? Maybe I underestimated you. Go take this loot.
So I did. I obtained the Guardian's sword. This was just the beginning of our adventures. There's so much more to come. But now I needed to get home, so I went and grabbed more melons and wait, is that my house? It's on fire! I ran over as fast as I can and notice it's barely savable. I go and save my bed and my crafting table, but decide to leave. Who would have done that? I had no idea, but we needed to find somewhere to stay. I was so tempted just to go leave, even if there's a small chance of surviving, but I knew I had to defeat the jungle god, so I grabbed resources and began my journey again until I eventually find some nice area. But I think the spear found it first, so I made sure to go fight it and took it down. I also noticed it had a kid. Where did your mum go? She just disappeared. I went and put the baby into a hole for now. What should we call him? While I thought of that, I had no time to waste, so I began designing my house into the ultimate jungle build. We weren't going to just survive 100 days, we were going to thrive, so I made sure to make it feel like home by adding even the crop farm. Once it was fully decorated, I went outside to look at my crops, and wait, is that the thuds again? What is that? Stay away. Huh? I was sick of hearing those thuds. I wanted to go find the corrupted traveler for answers, so I began traveling, and I also get a pet parrot. So me and my good old friend parrot looked for the traveler. We ended up finding deadly beasts in the jungle though. Like this tree started to chase me, so I had to back up. I go and use my bow to fire shots at them, and then eventually take it down with my sword. The jungle was a scary place. I thought I wanted to find a traveler, but eventually, after ages of exploring, I found his base, and it was beautiful. I immediately went inside to go talk to him. I needed to find more about this jungle god. Hey man, I've been hearing thuds. Do you know what this jungle god really is?
Okay, his name is the Jungle Abomination.
He's cursed the island with all his minions. To defeat him, you need to find a red beacon. The traveler wanted me to go press the lever, so I did and went inside of his jail cell to find nothing at all. I went and told him, hey man, nothing's inside of there.
That's impossible. A deadly beast should be in there.
The traveler caught one of the beasts, but he escaped. The jungle abomination's minion Nameless was here to slay me. I started firing shots at them, but there's too many. The traveler told me it wasn't worth it. I need to escape.
Go, leave me, defeat the jungle god.
Traveler, no! I abandoned the traveler. Apparently I'm the only one who can take down the jungle abomination. I ended up following his tunnels, which led me to a massive cave to be explored. It was a jackpot. I ended up finding multiple veins of diamonds and collecting them all. I also collected some new ores. I needed everything to defeat Nameless. We used the amethyst to make a pickaxe, as well as an axe, and then ventured deeper into the caves. I also found some more diamonds and started traveling more until I noticed a chest with some loot, but it also had this really cute creeper plushie. Right after, I opened the chest and noticed it had a diamond pickaxe and a nightmare helmet. Right after, I made some leggings and boots and noticed how strong we are. Funny enough, that's nothing compared to day 100. Once I grabbed everything I need, I left the caves to notice that the whole base was completely destroyed. I went to see what happened and realized the traveler was dead with a sign that said find the village. I was outraged. I couldn't believe this happened and it was all my fault. I was sad while traveling home. I knew one thing though, and that was I need to take Nameless down. I need revenge for the traveler. So I began the next day by becoming as strong as I can. I crafted an enchantment table and go enchant all my armor, and then shortly after enchant my sword and tools. I started getting ready for battle. I went and grabbed all the wheat from my crop farm and started crafting bread as well as killing chickens so I can go make some feathers for arrows. Nameless was prepared too because the next day I noticed his minions were waiting outside my base, but I'm not letting this base get destroyed too, so I fired back and started attacking. I go and take a couple of the skeleton vanguards out until a skeletron attacks me which jumps super high, but that didn't stop me because I take the rest of the skeletons out and go to the back of my base and start fighting more. Another skeletron came towards me, so I went and started firing arrows at him and eventually slay him. Once I killed them, I go and take the rest of his minions out and eventually slay them all. Out of that, I actually got a skeleton spear, which was really useful, so I went and enchanted it. After taking Nameless's army out, I knew I was ready to attack him, so I began my day by traveling to find him. This was going to be a hard journey. It was me versus the jungle. I had gigantic ants fighting me, and even a wandering traveler on an elephant? It looked for free die, what do you mean? I continued exploring though, and even went past the traveler's home. I find a secret jungle, don't worry. But for now, we need to take down Nameless. So after days and days of traveling through the wild, I eventually find his layers. I go down the floor one and start fighting a cherry blossom. I go and take him out instantly, but he dealt a lot of damage to me. There were deadly beasts down here, like whisperers and zombies. I was able to take them down quickly though. These ruins are massive with deadly beasts, like bone creepers. I was able to take them out and I continue exploring until I take a zombie down and open the chest to get some loot. After that, I keep exploring the ruins, hoping I don't encounter any more monsters. Funny enough, that's nothing compared to what's coming up, because once I go down this water, I eventually find a tunnel that leads to Nameless. I then go through the entrance, going through the front door, and realize he's asleep. I go up to him and decide to take the first attack, but Nameless was ready. I use my shields to deflect shots from him and get close. He was weak, but he summoned a mini beast and it was hard to get to him. I took more and more out, but they kept coming. I thought this could be the end, but eventually Nameless got low and I was able to take him down. I thought this was over. I thought I just killed Nameless, but I was wrong. I had to barricade myself because Nameless keeps summoning mobs, but what if I use that to my advantage? I go and fire a shot at him and then run outside so all the mobs would come out. I then build to the side and realized my plan worked like a charm. All those mobs started attacking Nameless and eventually slayed him. I defeated Nameless the Summoner. Since there's still tons of skeleton vanguards left, I went and hit all my shots and killed them all. Right after, I collected all the loot on the floor and realized Nameless dropped some good loot, such as a staff which let me fire shots. He also dropped this bow which will be super useful fighting the jungle abomination. So once I left Nameless's dungeon, I spent days and days traveling until I eventually reached home. Finally, I felt like I was at peace for once on this island, but suddenly out of nowhere, a message appears from Erebon. Who on earth is that? I guess we'll have to find out. But for now, I tested my new weapons and realized it's time to work on the base. So I start off by making a jungle wood wall and then create a massive jungle bridge going from tree to tree. I was turning my jungle cabin into the ultimate jungle base. I then finished the base off by making a gigantic glass cube which is gonna be the chest room. I go and carve all the jungle wood just to make it a little lighter and then eventually finished the jungle base. It looked amazing. I was so happy with the outcome. I wasn't happy for long though because shortly after, text saying jungle raid appeared on my screen. Little did I know hundreds of jungle zombies and leapers were outside my base, so I used my bow and sword to start firing shots at them. They weren't prepared for me. I knocked them back super far and eventually started shooting shots from the high ground. After taking dozens out, I went back down and killed the remaining ones. I used my nameless staff to go kill some of the leapers until there were no more. That raid must have been from the jungle god, so I started the next day by getting feathers for arrows. Also, the corrupted traveler really wanted me to find that village. They must have powerful loot there, so I start getting ready for a journey by collecting all the wheat that I have and bone mealing them so I can get bread. After that, I was ready to leave and began traveling across the jungle. These were very adventurous wilds, so I had to be careful, but after days of traveling, I found the jungle village. I began exploring and looking around. I was admired by the beauty of this village. It was like no other. It was so much more advanced. Like, what even is that thing? I just know it does stuff. Anyway, I ran over to some villagers and they started recognizing me. They realized I'm the guy who's been taking down all the jungle bosses. They start calling all the locals until I eventually found a villager that would take me to the jungle headquarters. Once I finally arrived, he said some jungle villagers will come out and help me shortly. Eventually, after going inside, I was led into a room with the leaders of the jungle civilization.
Are you sure we can trust him?
They eventually ended up trusting me though, and I took some of the best loot that they had in their chest, such as the noxious great blade and full nightmare armor. Right after, they wished me good luck and I decided to leave. It was my destiny to take the jungle abomination down. My journey begins to slay this beast. We grab melons, which has kind of been my diet so far, and start exploring the wilds. On the way, I end up saving animals that have been trapped by a traveler and encounter a gigantic arcback. I had to run away. I'm not dying yet. After traveling for days, I noticed a beacon in the sky, but not just one, two. Could this be the jungle abomination? I thought. Without hesitation, I jumped across the trees as fast as I can and then realized it's the jungle abomination's lair. I go down and see the deadly beast and start grabbing more melons because I love them. I didn't start building up and then realized there's some trouble first. I started fighting all the jungle abomination's minions that there are, including flying creepers and other deadly beasts. I go and use my staff to take the rest of them down, but it's not over yet because I go to the second floor which has tons of whisperers. I go and use my bow to go fire shots and start taking them down. Thankfully my sword was super strong, so I went and took all the whisperers down. Now all there was left was the arcback and I hated these fiends, so I went up close and made a massive strike with the great blade. I then used the sunshine bow to go finish it off. Right after, I start following the stairs to get to the top. I go and take all the whisperers on the side. I'm defeating the jungle abomination. I go and take the last one down and realize he's right there. The jungle island led me to this. I start fighting the jungle abomination by shooting arrows at it, dealing small amounts of damage. Luckily its minions came in to try save it. It was easy to take them out. I go and take a purple shrimp that I found and started running up and dealing great damage to the jungle abomination. I had to be careful though. I could lose everything at any moment. I pull my bow out and start firing shots at the abomination, but its minions kept getting in the way, so I made sure to take them out with my staff. But then I noticed he's on the edge, so I kept hitting shots at him and realized that he fell down. Now I can use this to my advantage. I start firing shots from above and then go down and hit more, but his minions kept getting in the way, so I knocked him off. Now I'm down on the ground. He's only one more shot. I defeat the jungle abomination and save the jungle island. I go and take down the rest of the mobs, collect the loot and start traveling back. I go past tons of lands, going through the village, and then I eventually go past the traveler's house back to my home. Now all I need to do is get off this island. I go and make a ship and decide to set sail. That was a crazy 100 days.
But I now know I need to find more about this mysterious world.
I'm going to attempt to survive 100 days in Better Minecraft. This is no ordinary world. Better Minecraft makes every
everything enhanced to the max. Like new dimensions, new caves, and new bosses I have to slay. But beware, I'm on hard mode, so if I make one mistake, the world is gone forever. Is it even possible to beat the game? And what else is in this world? Keep watching to find out. Also, I'm trying to hit 100k by the end of the year, so I'd appreciate it so much if you subscribed and liked for 200 days. Day 1 began, and I realized I spawned on top of a mountain with so many biomes around me. Right after, I looked down and just see a giant cliff. I'm staying away from that. So I made sure to move away and grab some resources. I didn't realize there's this red type of wood, so I made sure to grab more and made a crafting table, as well as a wooden pickaxe that is useless, but shush. Our journey seemed to be going good. I even had an animal book, but I was so wrong, because I noticed these lizards in the distance until one came towards me and launched me off the cliff. I was falling right to my death, but just one water block saved me and killed it. But there was a problem. It did poison damage to me, so once it went away, I was left with one heart. Wait, guys? I think the sun's going down. I was worried. It was about to be dark and I was on one heart. I had to do everything to survive. I went and grabbed resources straight away. I needed everything. I also found these mystery eggs and some really cute monkeys, but I didn't want to get distracted. The creatures I've seen so far is nothing to what's coming up, and I was still on one singular heart. I started exploring, hoping I didn't find any mobs, and then to my luck, I found a sheep. Problem was, there's a zombie, so I started striking hits at it and took it down. That was way too close. I ended up killing another sheep and realized I need one more for my bed. I was so thankful because after a bit of exploring, I found another sheep and took it down. Since we had a bed, I made a small campsite for myself, went and mined stone, and then eventually made a furnace since we need to cook food now. While all the food was cooking, I went to sleep, and then on day 2, I collected all the food from the furnace and ate it right away. It's such a relief seeing my hearts back up. This meant we can continue exploring, so I grabbed my stuff and also went and made a pink bed. Yeah, I have a pink bed. It's manly. I eventually went through tons of new biomes until I found this staircase. It was really mysterious. I would so go down here, but I have wooden tools. We will definitely need to go back for that, but for now I finally grabbed some stone and had to deal with, yeah, that. I honestly hate creepers. Luckily that's the only mob here, because these caves are so dangerous. Like, really dangerous. So since I'm a dumbass, I'll probably explore them soon. For now, I went and grabbed some more melons and explored tons of new biomes. Honestly, bit of Minecraft is so beautiful. We'll definitely need to find a place to build a home. I'll do that in the upcoming days. For now, I see a nugget in the sky. Is that the same nugget from 100 days on Lucky Block? That's impossible. I slayed him. He eventually went away. He must have not seen me. I'm glad he didn't. I need to make a home so creatures like that won't find me. So the next day, I started exploring so we can find somewhere to build our base. I go through tons of new biomes, getting resources, and eventually find a nice area. But it's gonna be dark soon, and that meant the Naga could be near. So I made some chests and placed all my gear into one spot. I needed to build an amazing survival base. First, we needed more material, so I mined stone, and then came towards a village. But this village was very mysterious. It had guards protecting it. But that's not gonna stop me from taking all your loot. I also noticed this wraith in the distance trying to attack me. It was easy to take down, but still nothing compared to the mobs that are coming up. We had to get resources if we wanted to survive. So I spent these days getting resources and eventually went home. I was ready to build the house. So I started off by making the outline and using some purple planks since purple's the best color. We used some Psycho planks to build the wall and we made a box. We definitely had to improve that, so I got some fences and ended up making a roof. This was the hard part, but once we got that done, all I had to do was place some glass and then I finally finished the base. And we're not even a quarter done, so imagine my base by day 100. My plan now is to get some ores, but before we went into any caves, I found a raccoon. He seemed interested in my egg, so I gave it to him and he started washing it. He then became my pet, so I made sure to take him towards my home. He looks so cute. What should we call him? Since we now are shouted to protect ourselves from the Naga, we would need to gear up if we wanted to slay it. I saw it watching my base. It must be getting ready to attack. So I started traveling until I eventually found a cave. I went down and grabbed iron that was close to me and fought some zombies that were near me. These caves are really dangerous, so I have to be careful. I go and grab some more iron, make some furnaces, and start smelting it all. If I make one mistake in these caves, I could be dead. So I finally upgrade all our stone tools to iron and make sure to make some iron armor. I went deep into the caves, killing all the mobs that are near me, and found a massive lava pool. I played it risky and bridged over. It was a life and death situation. Luckily, I was able to make it and started mining deep slate. Everything seemed fine until... Okay, let's just mine this block. Wait, where are we? I thought I knew everything about these caves. Apparently not. I go and mine these skulk boxes and go back. We definitely need to explore that soon. For now, I need to get stronger. So I find diamonds, and seriously, it's a one piece. Luckily, I was able to find more, so I grab all the diamonds, and then eventually, I noticed this dungeon with dead bodies in the distance. I went inside and grabbed the journal. Barracoa is a deadly beast that rules the overworld. He harvests the power of the sun. Beware, traveler. You have not seen anything to what's coming. Who's Barracoa? He must be related to the Naga. For now, I decided to go leave the cave since we geared
get up. I needed to find answers, so I spent the day traveling until I find my home. If we wanted to do anything, we needed max iron armor, so while my iron was smelting, I made a diamond pickaxe and used the leftover resources to build a bridge across the river. Let me know what you guys think. Now I needed to get dirt so we can start a farm. Just wait till you see how amazing it looks. So I spent ages grabbing dirt until I noticed this massive mushroom dungeon. We'll have to explore that soon. For now, I grabbed more dirt, placed it across the river, and then harvested my soil. Once that was done, my iron was also finished, so I go and make an iron chestplate, leggings, and boots. Now that I was more geared up, I tested my skills against this dungeon. I go and fight this massive skeleton and take down a zombie. It wasn't too great, but once I broke the spawner, I found this amazing loot. I collected it all and decided to go back home. I also found a forgotten hat, which I had to equip. But now here's where things get crazy, because do you guys remember those mystery eggs on the first day? I crafted a machine that let me spawn them, and I found out I had a penguin egg. I went and placed it and realized how cute this little fella is. After playing with my penguin, our base needed a brand new upgrade, so I mined a couple stacks of stone and knew it was time to build a furnace room. Smelting took too long, so I had to get rid of this problem. I go and build a nice base by adding a little bit of floor and using logs for the outline of it. Now it looks like a giant box, but we can fix that. I go and add some metal slabs, use some leftover brick to make the walls, and it was finally done. I was so lucky I finished then, because the next day I woke up and saw the Naga outside of my house. I was sick of running. I was ready to take it down, so I jumped on top of trees and started firing shots at it with my bow. It was powerful though. It was shooting acid shots towards me and started diving at me. I jumped off the trees and ate right away. I know I can take this beast down. I keep using my bow to fire shots at it, but it keeps dodging. Eventually I was able to hit it once more and it gets slayed. I know I could take the Naga down. I went over to collect its loot and see all these tribe members coming towards me. It was not over, and I was running out of arrows. I was able to eventually take one out, but there's still two left. I go and fire the last remaining shots in my clip and kill all of them. They also dropped something called a Mask of Bliss, which gave me a jump boost. These must be Barracoya's minions. I had to slay him, but we would need much better gear if we wanted to do that, so I said goodbye to my pet raccoon and headed off to find a cave. We really needed a diamond, so this would be a good idea. After a while, I found a narrow cave and decided to jump down. This may have been a problem though. While I was mining stone, I nearly drowned in the water. Luckily, I found a block that gave me an air spot, and I mined down all the way to a cave. And these caves are really weird. There's a giant tortoise I've never seen, but that's not why we're here. I go and collect some iron, and eventually find this giant lava ravine that looks very scary. I decided to go build over, and went and killed this massive soul witch. Right after, I went further down the caves and mined some deep slate, since who doesn't like deep slate? Luckily, while I was doing that, I found this new ore called silver, so I made sure to grab every piece, and found diamonds. These were my priority now. I went and grabbed more silver, and then eventually found a 1 piece of diamonds, and then an 8 piece. This is so good. I then smelted my iron, mined some obsidian, and created diamond leggings and boots. I knew with this gear, we would be able to take Barracoa down. We just needed to do one more thing. So while I was traveling home, I now knew I needed to make an enchantment table. So I go and mine all the sugarcane that I had, killed all these cows in the way that were vibing, and then eventually made my enchantment table. We're still missing one thing. It's not an enchantment table without an enchantment room, and I made sure to make it look amazing. So I go use some logs that I had, as well as some leftover bricks that I smelted, and placed all my library books, and enchanted my chestplate, boots, and leggings. I was now ready to explore. I was going to take Barracoa down, so from now on day 38, I spent that time traveling. I found tons of new mobs and distractions, because I see this giant temple. I had to explore it. What I noticed when I was there was this invisible skeletons firing at me. I knew that would be good practice against Barracoa though, so I went to the second layer and started firing against the boss skeleton. I was getting low though, so I had to take it out. I go and knock it off the building and open the chest. It had amazing loot. I go and grab everything that I needed, MLG water bucket off the temple, and started running away. We still needed to go adventure, which is surprising because do you guys remember that dungeon from day 2? Well, I found it and saw a villager inside. I was more confident to go down now, and once I did, I realized it's an underground village. I kind of wish I knew about this before, but it was perfect because these villagers had secret information about Barracoa. They knew exactly where he was, so I went and looted them and looked around. They were very helpful. I decided to go further down to this second layer, and then I felt really weird. Something felt off down here. I kept traveling and looking around, and then I noticed a skull. I saw this in the deep dark. What's going on in this world? I have to go back to that dimension once Barracoa is defeated. Once I leave the underground village, I knew my purpose, to go slay this beast. I won't let him terrorize the overworld anymore, so I spent a couple days traveling, and then realized I eventually made it to a savanna biome. This is where his village is, but there's a problem. I can only fight him at night. Once it's day, he will be too powerful. After waiting for it to be dark, I was ready to fight the Sun Chief. I used my bow to go take shots at the tribe. There were many of them, but I had to slay them all to even find out how powerful the Sun Chief was. I was able to start firing shots at its leader, but more tribal members came towards me. Luckily, I found a tree that I started firing shots at it, but it used its sun power to go deal damage to me. Luckily, the moon's up, so it's not as powerful, but I had to slay him. I only had a couple minutes, otherwise I was dead for good. The Sun Chief wouldn't even let me near him. He used his laser to get me further and further away, but I had to get towards him. His health was regenerating, and the moon was slowly going down. I was finally able to get close to him, and he launches me with his
his knockback powers. I got another chance and he launched me again. The moon kept going further down. I was starting to get really worried. I started rushing the Sun Chief, hoping I could at least get one hit onto him. But his minions kept getting in the way. I had to fix this problem now, once and for all. The sun was about to pop up. I go towards Barracoa until he unleashes his most powerful move, getting me to 1 heart. I used my water bucket to get away and saw the sun slowly coming up. Thankfully, I realized that Barracoa was distracted, so I used my sword to get some blast hits onto him and slay him. The Sun Chief has been defeated before sun's rise. I go and grab his mask and watch the sun finally come up. I thought I finally won, but I was so wrong. I just realized our journey has only began because I entered the village and realized there's deep dark blocks everywhere. Huh? What's going on? I have to find more about these. Why are these appearing everywhere? Is it from the warden? We have to find out. For now, I started traveling and realized that Mushroom Dungeon was there. Not too long later, we eventually made it home. If that dimension I went to in the caves has been causing chaos, I have to destroy its ruler. But before we did that, we would have to get stronger. While we're at home, I added some decorations to our base, such as this gigantic pillar, which I ended up decorating and finally made it my chest room. And I'm not gonna swim over to get to it, so I went and placed some glass to make a nice little glass and wooden bridge. Now it's time to extend our journeys. I went and made another bridge, but this time to make my Nether portal. I go and place deep slate slabs just to add a little bit of texture towards my bridge, and it was finally done. I was kind of scared going into this portal because this dimension is nothing like a normal Nether. I was worried. I haven't gone here yet for a reason, but I knew I could get powerful gear in the Nether, so that was my plan. I go and take down a gas and then find some quartz. And if you know me, you know I love quartz, as well as this brand new ore called ruby. I had to collect more, so I go mine some quartz as well as some sinacite. Go further down inside this gigantic Nether ravine and find some more ruby. This ore is amazing for armor. Since I got enough ruby, I went and collected tons of quartz and finally went back to my Nether portal. We have to explore more than Nether soon, but I knew I needed to upgrade my armor, so I made a ruby chest plate as well as a helmet. I was going to enchant them too, so I made some bookshelves, harvested my crops, and eventually replanted all of them. We went to my enchantment table right after and got protection 1 on the helmet and chest plate. Now, I found more about the deep dark when I explored, so I decided to go exploring on day 58 and found this giant mosquito trying to attack me. It also had a paralyzed sting, so it was dealing a hefty amount of damage to me. I was on 1 heart and I did not want to die right now. Not this way. So I have this opportunity to jump in the water and eventually kill this mosquito. How am I able to kill a Sun Chief but nearly die to a mosquito? Yeah, I wanted to get out of Australia. I mean the desert because of this reason. I went and killed this fiend, and then right after I decided to go explore. Luckily, while I was traveling, I found this village that was actually being attacked by a pillager. I used my bow to fire shots at it and slayed it. I also stole their diamond chest plate. Sorry about that. These villagers actually ended up knowing something about the deep dark, so I promised to kill a pillager outpost if they told me. Once I arranged this deal, I traveled through a Badlands biome and eventually found the pillager outpost. I came in with no mercy and knew I had to take them all down. They were ready to fight though, but I wasn't going down like this. Unfortunately, there was a lot surrounding me and they did a lot of damage, getting me down to 1.5 hearts. I was able to run away, take some of my bread, and slay one of the pillagers. There were a lot more to come. I wanted to find out about the deep dark and I wasn't stopping here. I go fire shots, take down the last pillager, and loot their base. Well, they had no loot, so I kind of left being disappointed, but I knew I could get information from the villagers, so I went right back to the village and started talking to one of the guards. How do I defeat the deep dark? He told me fighting the rule of the deep dark, the warden was useless unless I get the knight's weapon. Luckily, I found out though that he was underground, so I went to go and check the cemetery and I didn't find anything besides a totem of undying. I mean, I would take that. Since I now knew he was underground, I decided to go travel home and get more prepared. I started off by enchanting my diamond chestplate with protection 2, and then I walked back to my base and got a message alerting me of a harvest moon. It makes my crops grow faster, so I'm probably not going to sleep tonight. I go and add some decorations to my place like glowstone and noticed that my raccoon's Herobrine. He also noticed this weird goblin in the distance that has worse traits than a wandering traveler. So you're telling me that one enchantment was worth 3 emeralds? No, it wasn't. After being scammed by a golem, I went and added some decorations to our base. I went and added another side just to go outline our crops and it looked amazing. But now since I've done everything, I was ready to finally find that knight. I started exploring right away and knew that I was in for a challenge. Seriously, I may have been unprepared. This knight is deadly. Because after a bit of traveling, I found his lair. I MLG water bucket down and saw all his minions waiting for me. I had a bow for a reason, so I started using it to fire shots and eventually decided to jump down. Now I knew they were all chasing me, so I had to go through this dungeon as fast as I can. I began fighting all the minions that were blocking my way and continued exploring this dungeon. After fighting countless and countless of the undead, I went through some barrels, got some new diamond tools, but then everything changed after fighting these zombies. I went to check this barrel and saw a fire dragon egg. I wonder if I can ride him. We'll find out. For now, I start fighting more mobs that are in the way and detonate this TNT. I kinda had to, but it ended up rewarding me because after I ate this gold apple, I realized that the knight was behind this rock. So I used my diamond pickaxe to mine out the wall until I realized that I've made it to the knight's lair. I had to be quiet though. He didn't know I was here yet until I eventually went too close and he woke up. He was ready to attack. He came towards me with his massive axe and started striking at me. I spent this time trying to find out what his weakness was. After eating the gold apple, I was prepared until he got me stuck, but luckily that totem of Undying saved me. The problem was I only had one life with it left and I used it. I now had to play this more strategically. I go and mine out the side just so I can hide from him and use tactics to try and get behind him. If I make one mistake now, I'm dead. Good news though, I was able to find out how to take him down. I realized his sword was his weak spot, so I knew this was my only way to take down the knight. I was finally able to get him low. I kept using my tactics to try avoid him and eventually got him to one more hit. I just needed to hit him once more, so I go and charge towards him, go behind him and strike. I finally slayed the knight and now I was able to get his weapons to get to the deep dark. Once I was safe, I grabbed his battle axe and started traveling home as fast as I can. I knew that this beast, the warden, was a powerful boss, so we had to be prepared. For now it was raining and I just really wanted to get back home. I was so happy when I was able to find it, but these zombies were in the way, so I made sure to test my battle axe against them and realized how powerful this was. The next day, before I made any plans, I had to take care of my dragon egg, so I craft fences to keep it somewhere safe and place it in the center. Since this dragon egg is going to take a while to hatch, I thought on day 70 I would add some details to the base. I go and grab all the quartz that are in my chest and thought it would be a really cool idea just to add a white quartz outline onto the river, and it looked amazing. Honestly, quartz makes anything better. Once I did that, I knew we were days away from going to the deep dark. I wanted to go to the Nether first though. My plan was to find a fortress just so we can go slay the Ender Dragon before it's day 100. I went and found a fortress now just so I could get nether bricks and coordinates for later. While I was exploring, I ended up grabbing some bone blocks, went through Bastion village, and then eventually found the fortress. While I was here, I went and grabbed some nether bricks just so we can use them for a future build, and then eventually save the coordinates and left. I'm not gonna get Eyes of Ender for now because the fortress gets more dangerous the deeper you go in. And I knew since I've achieved everything I wanted to do, it was time to go to the deep dark. While the sun was going down, I went and woke up, harvested all my crops so we can go make some bread, and started traveling right away. I had to find a cave. Unfortunately, a group of pillagers came towards me, so I made sure to use my battle axe as well as bow to fire shots at them. I went and took one of the pillagers down and then used my battle axe to strike against it. I wonder how useful this is going to be against the warden. I eventually found a cave, but it was really narrow, but it was the only way down, so I go through the water cave and then notice a problem. I was losing tons of water bubbles and there's no entrance, so I made sure to go break a block and I luckily survived. Once I entered the cave, I knew I had to get below bedrock, so I start mining down until I eventually find a deep dark dimension portal. We finally made it back to the deep dark dimension. I was ready to find out what goods and what beasts were down here. I started mining down, making a strip mine and finding an 8 vein of diamonds. Right after, I found a cave and saw that the warden was inside. He was ready, so I made sure to go break out and started firing shots at his mobs. My battle axe couldn't reach him from here, so I went down and started fighting more skulk zombies until they eventually got me low. I was a bit worried, but I made sure to build up so they couldn't hit me. I went and killed the remaining zombies and placed torches everywhere so no more spawn. I made sure to collect some diamonds on the floor as well and started using my bow to hit the warden. The problem was my battle axe could not reach him, so I tried to get closer, but I saw he was charging right towards me. I ran in fear and then placed a couple blocks to protect myself. I was terrified. If he hit me once, I'm dead. I knew if I wanted to win this, I had to play the long range game. I kept firing arrows into the warden until I eventually slayed him. I finally defeated the warden. I go and collect all the diamonds that are near and adventure more of the deep dark. I felt really scared going through this mine shaft. Who knows what could be down here? Luckily, it was just a skulk zombie, so I grabbed some more diamonds that are near, find another skulk zombie, and opened a chest. Once I looted it, I knew we were ready to go, so I go back from the mine shaft and go back to the overworld. It was finally great seeing land again, but when I came back home, I came back to a surprise because when I turned around the corner on day 79, I realized our dragon is hatched. And I knew the small dragon boy and I are gonna finally defeat the Ender Dragon in an epic battle, but he still needed to grow up, so we had some time to spare. I went over to my chest and grabbed my quest book and realized I have so much rewards I need to collect. How on earth did I forget to do this? But besides getting XP, it gave me Nether stars as well, so I crafted 2 beacons right away. I then made a deep slate bridge and went to grab all the iron from my chest, but the problem was we didn't even have enough for like 1 beacon, which meant it was all mining time again. Also, our dragon was getting bigger. I went into a cave right away and grabbed every single vein of iron I found. This took days and days. I even had to fight zombies, like seriously, but it was all worth it because I grabbed a few more veins of iron, placed it all in my furnace and smelted all of it, and then started working on the beacon. 1 done, only 1 more to go. Once the remaining iron was smelted, I went and made my 2nd beacon, and we were finally done. I decided to go put speed on it, and then I put haste on the other beacon. It adds a cool detail to the base too. Also, I went and recharged my pickaxe, as well as my diamond chest plate, and after all of that, my dragon finally matured into an adult. This meant we could fly him. So without hesitation, I went towards him, placed a saddle on him, and kinda failed to get on a couple times, but eventually we finally got onto the dragon.
Oh, we're in the air. Oh my god,
This is actually so cool. Knowing me, I tried to go as high as we can. That was probably not a good idea. We also nearly died. But now that our dragon was matured and we finally had max enchanted armor, we were ready to slay the ender dragon. But first, we have to survive the fortress, which is the hard part since there's new creatures everywhere. So before I go to the Nether, I harvest my crops, make sure to replant them right after, and then go towards my Nether portal. Also, while I was going in, I just see my dragon stare at me like this. I start exploring the Nether as fast as I can. We only had a few days to get all the blaze rods. Luckily, I had the cord save, so I keep traveling, start bridging across the lava lake, and then finally find the fortress. I try to find a blaze spawner, but this withered skeleton was blocking the way, so I charged at him to take him down and started fighting some blazes that were in the way. I kept exploring the Nether fortress though, ended up grabbing some Nether quartz, and then finally found the blaze spawner. The problem is, there's more than blazes that just spawn, so I try to get as close as I can to the blaze spawner to take a few blazes out. After slaying one, I was able to get his blaze rod. Unfortunately, more blazes spawned as well as wildfires, which is super deadly. I was constantly on fire, and I only had 2 blaze rods, so I had to play this tactical. I went to a Nether wall to go avoid its flames, and then I eventually went close and took one down. It gave me 2 blaze rods, now I only need a few more. Luckily, I was able to get them all and started running away. Time was running out, and I needed ender pills, so I go slay any endermen that were close to me, and eventually, after killing a few, I got to 7 ender pills, then all the way to 12. I made Isaac ender straight away and left the Nether. All we had to do now was find the stronghold, and with my dragon, it won't be a problem. That's right, I'm taking my ender dragon to the end, so I made sure to harvest crops, replanted them, and said goodbye to my pet raccoon. And now that I had everything, me and my dragon set off to find the stronghold. I go and place an eye ender and realize that the stronghold is northeast, so I made sure to keep going that way through tons of new biomes and lakes until it eventually got stormy. Me and my dragon ended up fighting tons of mobs together and kept looking for the stronghold. After days and days of exploring, I finally placed my eye ender and realized we were right above the stronghold, so I go mine down and find a massive place to explore. We weren't here for too long though. Me and my dragon wanted to get to the end and slay that ender dragon right away. So I went and grabbed ores that were near me, and after a while of grabbing them and searching around, I found the ender portal room. Luckily, I didn't lose any Isaac ender, so I made sure to go place them all until the portal was lit up. Me and my dragon were ready to go in. Once we made it, I knew things were about to go down. I get up and get on top of the saddle and start flying towards the ender dragon. I'm not going to lose. 100 days led to this, so I start firing shots at all the end crystals that are near me and go take them down. I thought we were gonna win. Flying around made this easy. We even started flying the dragon with a bow, but I was wrong because the dragon turned around and slayed my fire dragon. Things could change now. I got all the way down to 2.5 hearts and I lost one of my friends. I had to get revenge. I took a golden apple and bowed down the dragon. I had to kill him. I had to revenge my friend, but it was going to be hard. I knew we could do it though. But then he launches me all the way up into the air. I was worried, but luckily I had a water bucket and I MLG water bucket saved myself. I was angry now. I had to slay this beast no matter what. I kept hitting the dragon, hoping I could eventually kill it. Hits and hits going on and on until it reached day 100. I was running out of time, but I was able to. After ages and ages, I slayed the ender dragon. Yes, we slayed the ender dragon.
We've finally done it on day 100. I arrived back home and realized how much we've gone through. This is a whole new world, and I knew who took me here, Herobrine. If I want to take him down, I need to know his origins.
In today's video, I survived 100 days in Minecraft as Herobrine. People like destruction in Minecraft, but I decided to take it even further. The goals of this video is to cause as much chaos as I can. We can do this by getting all our superpowers and armor, and by slaying the Ender Dragon without mercy. Am I able to defeat the Ender Dragon and take over Minecraft as Herobrine in 100 days? Watch to the end to find out. Also, we are so close to 50,000 subscribers, so if you want to help me get to my goal, all you need to do is subscribe. It would mean the world to me. Also, click the like button for the YouTube algorithm, and let's get in. On day 1, I randomly got summoned by 2 Steves. I go down and use my lightning powers to go kill them. Also, every 25 days, I unlock a new power. So if you want to go see all the powers I unlock, watch till the end. But besides powers, I actually needed loot. Thankfully, the Steves did have some. So I grabbed all the tools and went to go break my first tree. After breaking a few though, I realized it was getting dark. Something else that's bad news is that mobs go and attack me. It's fine though, because I end up taking all of the zombies down, and once I kill all of them, I decide to go leave the area. Yeah, I think I need some shelter. Luckily, I did find a cave that I can go inside of, but there were also tons of mobs inside that I was not prepared for. I did have some resources though, so I went and made a hut for myself where I can craft and smelt all my iron. With the iron I got, I ended up crafting a shield so I can defend myself, and then I was just kind of sitting there waiting for the night to go. Just like that, it was morning, and I decided to go grab some coal before I leave. I also had to go fight tons of zombies trees that were in the way of me grabbing iron. I stayed in the cave just for a little bit longer to grab a few more pieces so I can be extra safe, but after that I left. But I still needed to get my health back up, so I went and grabbed some wood and started to kill some mobs. It was good that Herobrine loves killing mobs, so this was fun. I even ended up using my lightning bolt to kill them. As Herobrine, I want to make a massive haunted mansion, so I need to grab all this wood so I can plan for it in the future. I also finally crafted a furnace and started smelting all my iron. With the iron I had, I decided to go make iron tools, but I also noticed it was getting dark, so I went and crafted a bed and eventually went to sleep. When I woke up though, I realized that there was a village near me. As Herobrine, I like causing chaos, so I decided to go swim over to the village. I scared them by using my lightning. While they were scared, I decided to go strike and kill the first villager. After that, I used my lightning powers to set all of their buildings on fire. Some villagers turned into witches too, so I went and killed them right after. But I wanted this village to be destroyed, so I kept using my lightning. I kept killing all these witches until it was dark. All the villagers have already been killed. But then I noticed there's a greater enemy. I realized there's a Steve with diamond armor. It's not the strongest Herobrine, I still thought I could take him. Unfortunately, I was wrong and I had to retreat. I would get my revenge someday, but for now I need to focus on myself. I crafted a boat and decided to go leave and find somewhere to live. As a new Herobrine, I need to find somewhere that I can call home. In our travels, I realized how many marine animals there are. I can't wait to kill them all. But besides that, I end up finding some land and keep traveling around. But after ages of searching, I found this mountain which looked really cool. I spent time climbing up the mountain, and once I got to the top, I knew this would be Herobrine's home. Although as Herobrine, I love causing chaos, I knew it was time to go change this place up, which from day 11 to 17 was my plan to work on the first layer of the mansion. Once I made the outside of the mansion, I decided to go work on the walls as well as the roof, but it also needed to have some decorations. But on day 18 or 21, I went down the mountain and jumped all the way into the water. I had to go down though, because I needed to grab some more wood as well as needing to grab sand. After a while, I eventually got it and noticed there's a village. I also realized I was close to my next power, so I prepared to fight the village after day 25. Also, on the way back, I realized there's a noob Steve, so I thought it'd be funny to go use my lightning bolt and climb up and knock him off. After getting everything I need, as well as being Herobrine and messing with Steve, I decided to go climb all the way back up my mountain and use all the sand to go make glass. Then I realized I finished the first layer of the mansion, and this is how it looked. Overall, I was pretty happy with how my mansion went. Since we finally finished building the first layer of the mansion, I jumped down into the water. That day, we needed to find a cave, but it was getting dark. Thankfully, we eventually found the cave. I went into the cave, and the first thing I grabbed was some coal and iron. There were many mobs in the cave as well, but I was able to take them down. I also grabbed some more iron and decided to go deeper into the cave, because when you go deep, it is more to find, if you know what I mean. Anyway, I went to grab some new ore, as well as grabbing tons of emeralds, since there's so many in these caves. And after that, we found our first vein of diamonds. I decided to go break from the side and realized I went into a massive cave and hit the jackpot. There were diamonds everywhere. I go and break the first vein, which was a 7th vein, and use the obsidian to go make a path. We needed it so we could grab all the diamonds for our armor. After grabbing all of them, I go and make a diamond pickaxe, as well as a helmet and a chest plate. Then shortly after, I grab some obsidian. After finding that jackpot of diamonds, I continued to explore the caves, but it wasn't easy. I had to go use my lightning bolt to take down this creeper, but we got some rewards because we went that way and got some lapis, emeralds, and eventually diamonds. Once I got everything I wanted, I decided to go leave the cave. You may be wondering though, what powers did I get on day 25? Well, I unlocked wall climbing. This meant I can climb up to my opponents and kill them. But what goes well with that? How about super powerful TNT? On day 29 to 31, I created an enhanced sword. But besides that, I wanted to test my new powers. I go down my mountain by using my wall climbing techniques and then eventually seeking that village. I knew today was the day I would destroy this village with my brand new powers. I swam over to the village and fought some of the mobs there while it was dark. After that, I went and placed all of the super powerful TNT and detonated the first piece. I ran over to the water so I could protect myself with my shield and heard it explode. The TNT caused so much destruction to the village, but I still had 3 more pieces to use. I go and detonate the other piece and run away, and it sets off 2 of them. I have 1 more piece that I detonate, and I go into the water to protect myself and watch the village explode into pieces. There's barely any village left. There's only one thing that remains, and that's Steve. I wanted to get my revenge, so I jump over to that Steve and take some of its health. I then use my wall climbing powers to go parkour away and then take another hit by using them. Now I knew Steve was low and he's stuck in the water, so I go take a shot and kill him. Finally, Herobrine's got his revenge and taking down the village. I use my wall climbing to get out of here, and I run away from the village. After killing all of those villagers with no mercy and taking their home away, I was so happy. But I knew I could do more with more power, so on day 32, I craft an enchantment table and get efficiency on my diamond pickaxe, as well as sharpness on my sword. But I was still in the mood to kill, so on day 33, I went out and noticed it's a Steve. I ended up griefing him by using my lightning bolt and then climbing up with my wall climb, as well as building up and knocking him off. But after messing around with Steve, I decided to mess around more by turning pigs into zombie pigmen. I also realized there's a forest near me, so I went and grabbed some of the spruce wood that was there. There was so much, this would be so good for our mansion. But then I decided to go make a forest fire. I thought it'd be fun to go mess around and to watch the destruction. On day 37 to 38, I decided to go make a nether portal. I wanted to go make a nice area for it first, so I used some spruce and then realized I didn't have enough obsidian. I had a solution for this though, but it wasn't very smart. I was so close to dying here, but thankfully I was able to get out just in time. Damn, that was so risky. Do you guys think that was risky? Let me know by commenting. After being stupid, I decided to go bridge up the waterfall. Then I go to the main lava source and I grab my last piece of obsidian. It was a waste of a lava waterfall, but now we have a full nether portal and I light it with my lightning bolt. Now the hard part, since we've got our portal ready, we actually have to go to the nether. So from day 39 to 46, I go inside of the nether portal and prepare myself for the other side. The nether looks so different. Maybe it was changed since last time I was summoned. Anyway, I continue to look around and notice there's new mobs as well, but it didn't stop me from grabbing what I needed. I went and grabbed some of the quartz as well as grabbing some basalt for decoration blocks for our mansion. But there was other stuff as well, such as new biomes with all these prickly plants and more mobs. I continued to grab more quartz and kept looking around. I also noticed a Steve in the nether. Too bad he is weak and I grabbed all his loot. After taking 2 of them, I realized I was low and had barely any food. I spent the rest of the time trying to get back home safely. I was so close to dying, but the nether was just a small challenge. I want to go find a woodland mansion now, just so I can test my brand new powers on day 50. I knew it was going to be hard though, but I was ready for any challenge. I used my wall climbing to get down Herobrine's mountain and eventually jump into the water. After that, I grabbed some food since this was going to be a long adventure, and I eventually found the village with a woodland mansion trader. Thankfully, I used some of the sugarcane that I got to go trade for some emeralds, and I eventually had enough to go get a woodland mansion explorer map. I still hated villages, so after that, I went and killed them all and left to go find this woodland mansion. Just took many days of traveling over tons of new biomes I've never even seen. I knew it was going to take many biomes to go through. I even went through a snow biome and noticed some new animals that I had to kill, but I knew if I kept following the map, I would get there. And after ages of traveling, I found the woodland mansion. But now I can show you my new power. From day 50, I'm able to summon mobs like the dead, but that's not even close because I summon a phase 3 Herobrine minion on the mansion. I knew this would cause maximum chaos. I decided to go in and I already see all the destruction my Herobrine has done. I knew all the Vindicators were so intimidated by my powers. I even take the Vindicators down in one hit. My minion's doing so much damage. While that's happening, I go and grab some library books for my enchantment table and go and kill a zombie, and I realize there's a Evoker here. I go and take them down and get a totem of undying. Now I'm even more powerful as I watch the mansion get destroyed. I decide to go leave as there's nothing left, and I go and see all the destruction we've done. There's also a village there that I go and take some diamonds from and end up slaying all the villagers. Look at this. It's so crazy seeing how powerful I am and how my Herobrine minions are taking over. But my mansion trip had to come to an end because from day 58 to 62 was my travels home. It was pretty boring, but when I was close to home, I grabbed some more spruce wood for my mansion. I knew I needed as much wood as I can get to make this mansion great. After climbing all the way up to my mountain, that was my job. I went up and placed some of the carpet that I got from the mansion and then made the second layer. With all the cobblestone I had, I used it to go make a roof. That was the only thing I had to do for the mansion, and once I finished that, I was done, and the mansion turned out amazing. The interior, the walls, everything was perfect. Do you guys like the mansion too? Let me know by commenting. Now, you may be wondering, what's my next power? How about controlling the earth? Yup, that's right. From day 75, I'm now able to control the earth. I started to test my new powers. I go and use them and launch myself into the water. My new powers were powerful, but I still wasn't powerful enough. If I wanted to go defeat the Ender Dragon, I had to go into caves and get better armor. So I made sure to do that. I go and grab some of the coal that's in the cave, and then I keep exploring into the deeper areas. But as Herobrine, this isn't a challenge. I go down and grab even more diamonds. I find an 8 vine and go and make diamond leggings. We only need a few more diamonds for boots, so this one piece of diamond will help. Once we grab that piece of diamond, I go further down in the caves and notice this massive water chunk. Since I was curious, I decided to go into the water cave and found diamonds. Thankfully, it's the only diamonds we needed. I decided to go place a door and grab all 4 pieces and notice the sharks fighting a whale. Since I like killing mobs, I go and take down the whale and the shark, and then I go and leave. Yeah, I know I'm building up, but it's fine, okay? Don't judge me. Because we got what we wanted, and that was diamonds. I go and craft my diamond boots, and then realize I have other diamonds in a chest to go make diamond enhanced armor. But I know it can get even stronger, so I craft myself an obsidian chest plate, and then grab the books that we got from the woodland mansion them to go build around the enchantment table. Once I placed all of them, I went and enchanted all of my armor so I'm even stronger. Now I have all of my powers with the strongest armor in the game. I knew I was unstoppable to everything.
Man, we need to take down Herobrine.
Okay, everyone, go, 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 go. Get in position right now. Day 82 to 84, I go and look at the village that I'm ready to destroy with all my powers. I go and use a boat to get over and wait till it's dark. It was time to strike. I launch myself over using my powers and go strike to Steve and take him down. I go lift the gravel up to launch myself over their barricade and go take more Steves down. Even some of them got me really low, but I was still able to take them down. Once I had the chance, I used my lightning to make sure I could grief their home. They didn't like that and they called reinforcements. There were so many Steves and I was low on health, but thankfully I was able to get into the water and use my lightning against them. They retreated and I was able to take more down in the water. Once I did that, I realized I killed all the Steves and grabbed all of their loot. I took down so many Steves. I took them all down and I won. Now all we need to do is slay the Ender Dragon. I have to go into the Nether and find the fortress. So after searching for ages and even grabbing new Nether ores and going through tons of new biomes, such as a mushroom biome and this red bones biome I've never seen before, I finally find the Nether fortress. I run down to the fortress as fast as I can and I go and build up to the top. Once I finally got to the Nether fortress, I fought tons of wither skeletons that were in my way. I just wanted to go fight the blazers, and after a while of fighting all of them skeletons, I found the blaze spawner. I just wanted to get in and out. Thankfully with my sword I was able to one-shot them and get blaze rods. With my enhanced sword I was able to go rush through without a problem. I went from 1 blaze rod to 7 in minutes. This was so good. Once I got all of them, I decided to go leave and to slay the Ender Dragon, but first I need to craft Eyes of Ender. Once I crafted all my Eyes of Ender, I went outside to go see where the stronghold was. Now all I need to do is follow this path and I'll be able to find the stronghold in days. It took ages of searching though. I even had to craft a brand new boat just so I can go leave the island. But after ages of traveling near a village, I finally found it. I decided to go break down next to the village and notice I'm already at the stronghold. But before we go to the portal room, I decided to go to the library to grab some books. That wasn't the only thing good about this library though. I opened a chest and realized it's a sharpness 4 book. I still wanted more though, so I spent ages finding another library and it was worth it. It had a book with all these super powerful enchantments. Maybe I can use them in 200 days. But after, we find something much better. We find the portal room. I go and take all the silverfish and mine the spawner and place all the Eyes of Ender. Herobrine was ready to fight the Ender Dragon and take its throne back from being known as the most powerful mob. I go and use my lightning powers to go take all of the ink crystals out. This was really easy to do and they were out within minutes. Right after that, I go take some of my food and then get prepared to charge the dragon. I had to get her health down as fast as I can, so I made sure to get maximum damage. This was even hard for Herobrine because suddenly I get launched up into the air with no hope, but then the totem of undying saves me from death. Herobrine was angry now. I had to take this Ender Dragon down. I wanted my honor back. I go and take more hits onto the dragon with my sword, but it's not enough. I even go use my earth powers to go throw rocks at the dragon, but it's not enough. I had to wait for the dragon to come down. While I waited, I spent my time fighting Endermen. Maybe the Ender Pills could be helpful to me. I could even get an edge onto the Ender Dragon using their own powers. I ended up taking all the Endermen down and using the Ender Pills to get closer and getting my final hit onto the Ender Dragon and slaying it. We've done it. We've freed the end. But as Herobrine, we've done so much more. I'm so happy with the progress we've made in 100 days.
But now I'm ready for a new chapter. I've destroyed this world. Now there's only one person I have to destroy. I've turned into the strongest Minecraft god Notch, and I have to survive for 100 days. This may seem really easy, but things instantly get crazy. Yeah. So on day 1, I go and wake up from my bed. Okay, this view is kind of swag. It seemed like a normal morning until suddenly an earthquake began to happen. That was Herobrine and he could destroy everything. I knew if I wanted to go stop him, I had to get out the temple. I go and run out the bedroom, down into a hallway that leads me to the entrance, and could feel the earthquake getting stronger. I need to get out and fight him now. I keep running until I finally make it outside of the temple, but things only get worse. Where is he? Wait, no, it's gonna pull. I woke up and saw the temple was destroyed. I had no food, no home, and was completely upset. It's only day 1. I go and leave the area and encountered a zombie. Wait, what's this? Whoa! At that moment, I knew I unlocked lightning powers. And it turns out I unlock a new power every 3 days, so how powerful will I be? The problem now though is we basically had nothing and was very low, so we had to abandon the temple. We definitely needed new tools, so I went and broke a few trees, harvested a few apples, and finally got off that dangerous land. We've made a little bit of progress. I then go start traveling and I thought everything was going great, right? Is that a pig? At this moment, I realized Herobrine was infecting more mobs. I had to ignore it for now and finish making stone tools. Day 2, we ended up finding the village, although it was completely destroyed. I went inside and slayed new infected mobs as well as looked around. It was abandoned. To my luck though, I found a disc in the ashes and thought maybe it's important, so I went and found a player and decided to place the disc inside. Herobrine's mission is to destroy all of Minecraft in the next 100 days. Every single day he gets stronger and someone has to stop him. How am I going to do this? Herobrine is literally unstoppable. Everyone has their biggest fear, and this was mine, so we need a plan. So I decide to go and leave the village, and on day 3, I start traveling to find a home. We should start with the easy things and then move to the harder ones. Luckily, after a few days, I finally found a place to build my base. It seemed peaceful. There was land, mountains, 2 volcanoes on each side. Seems friendly. I then go and climb up the hill and went and mined a chunk out of the mountain. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna build the notch temple, but better. I kept mining out the roots of the chunk and then found this really weird block. What even is this? Wait, I can make a pickaxe with it? I went and tested it and saw that it already smelted the block for me. I went and used it to mine the rest of the chunk and definitely knew we had to visit the caves after this. Alright, the first room is done. I then go and use wooden planks to decorate it and finally finish. So stage 1 complete. Day 8. Now we need to make our way down to a cave. Did I just break my leg going down that? Yes, but we need to strengthen ourselves up. I go travel through the biome, grabbing local resources and searching for a cave, and then see probably the most enormous cave I've ever seen. Yeah, I slowly walk down into the cave, but then almost hesitate to go in. To be fair, I have no armor. What if I die? I may be a god, but Herobrine could be down there. I still knew I had to go in now. I literally walk in and become a straight demon. Not even kidding. I was grabbing new ores around left, right, center, slaying mobs. It was looking good here. Ayo, why is that there? There was this yellow key, and also this massive entrance towards a door which was yellow. But I still had to go through 50% of this cave. I go and open my crafting table and decide to make armor. I also use my lightning to create these frost crystals, which gave me very strong armor. Although a horde of zombies came to attack me, I realized it wasn't worth it. I had to run now. Bro, I'm on 3 hearts. Ooh. I go and run through to the end of the cave and luckily made it out. I instantly start running home. I go and climb up the wall and make it inside the temple. If we go in, we're gonna die. There's no way we're going back. I went back to the cave. Is this a dumb idea? Yes, but that's not the point. I also wanted to at least have some food and some resources first, so why not apples? After that, I made it back to the cave. I was actually really scared of going back, but that made me want to go back even more. Also, all the zombies had disappeared. It fell off, but I got to the dungeon door and unlocked it. I then walked through the dungeon entrance, and to my right, I see a giant mutant zombie staring at me. So that was what was behind here. One thing I knew was I have to be careful. I go and use my lightning to deal a little bit of damage and then go for the strike. We were already winning, although he wasn't having it and summons our army of the undead. He was angry. Come on. That was so close. What? Wait, no. The zombie was now so low. I go and fire my lightning and deliver the final blow. Yes! I then placed lava to go burn his body, and to be honest, I was kind of proud of myself. It was over. Well, the mutant zombie actually ended up dropping this journal. I didn't even know what was inside, but I just thought I'd get home first. I was walking back and saw how trashed my temple looked. Notchy boy isn't tolerating this. Okay, what if we just... We were making small improvements to the base, but we actually needed stairs too, so I started building them right away. I also didn't realize we needed more area in our temple. We should probably build a furnace room. How did that even get there? Okay, I don't know, but we ended up finishing the furnace room. I also realized I could make gooey apples, which meant I could start a golden apple farm, which was really good. I ended up planting some seeds I got as well, and knew these apples would be so good once they're done. Day 13, I was sick of waiting. I wanted to see what was inside that journal. I go and grab it and finally walk outside to read what was in there.
Dear mutant zombie, the mutant zombie army was ready to take over Notch's temple. Since Herobrine has slain Notch, we have moved in, and now we can take over the land that roams around.
Herobrine had an army and everyone thought I died. That was really bad. I put the book away and just went to harvest more apples. I was actually really sad. Like, what if the world thought I gave up on them? I knew my next goal would be defeating the skeleton, but for now I went back to my base and got harassed by like 100 phantoms. Ow. What the fuck? The next day I realized we needed to get stronger if we wanted to even get close to killing this mutant skeleton. So let's go to this pillage. And as you can see, my XP level went up by 1. We need to get to level 20 by day 20 to unlock our powers. The next day I found a village with actually alive villagers. I also found a blacksmith, which I instantly made my best friend. Hey man, how's it going? I go in, take some of his diamonds, so I knew it was official after that. He then realized I was Notch and took me to a room with a chest. Another book? This wasn't an ordinary book. It was actually codes to a pillager castle that has been attacking them. We help villagers, we get our levels, win-win situation. So I started traveling. This was really important to me. I wanted to show the world that I haven't given up on them. I go and see the pillager castle, got closer, and then opened the front door. Ooh! I go, build up, and start shooting lightning towards the pillagers. I end up taking the guards down, but then a ravager comes and charges out. Deadly beast, weak armor, it could kill me with 2 hits. No. I run, then swim across a lake to get distance. I then grab my lightning rod and finally hit the ravager. Luckily, I slayed it. This was the perfect time to go inside. It turns out there wasn't even a king, so I took down the remaining pillagers and stole their loot. I was happy, I saved the village, and even made it to 20 XP levels. I knew after that I could actually travel home because I was proud. Notch is back. We are pretty close to unlocking our next power. I continued traveling home, and once we made it inside, I unlocked our next power, the Convert Wand, which lets me purify the land that was around me as well as kill hostile mobs on it. So guys, what if we just... I stopped purifying my base right away. Now we don't even have to worry about mobs coming inside and attacking us. Like, look at this guy. Look, he can't get through. Wait, we unlocked 2 generators? Well, that's weird. We needed diamonds for an enchantment table, but we still need obsidian too. Yeah, let's climb a volcano. This was very dangerous, but Herobrine was getting stronger. He's only 80 days away from destroying the world. So I climbed to the volcano and see the lava's filled to the top. I just placed water and mined the obsidian. After that, we got enough and I literally just left. I then got home, crafted an enchantment table, complete diamond armor, and enchanted it all. We now got stronger and things were looking great. Day 22, I just decided to go down to the ground and notice the goblin seeds have turned into gold apple saplings. To be honest, I was happy. We made progress, worked on our base, things were looking good. Until later when I find a cow that has been infected. This is really bad. I went and killed all the infected cows and realized how serious this is. I need to actually defeat Herobrine. His powers were getting stronger. If we wanted to compete, we would need to get stronger too. I thought the caves would be the best place to start. So I went in and explored the cave, grabbing new ores, and was really determined to take Herobrine down. I also prioritized trying to get iron for an anvil. Although the infected mobs didn't stop at just that cow. We went further in the cave and noticed some zombies were infected too. I honestly didn't know how to react. I kind of blamed myself, but also blamed them. I just wanted to get out the cave, honestly. I just thought it was the best thing to do, so I decided to walk back to my base and think of what we need to do next. What was that? Oh! Herobrine found me, my temple, and my home. I knew things were about to get deadly, so I ran back to the base as fast as possible. Although it was too late. Lightning was appearing everywhere. At that moment, I knew he was here. Herobrine runs up towards me and starts to attack. I try to defend myself, but I get blinded by his powers. I lose track of where I'm going and fall off the stairs and see hundreds and hundreds of Herobrines looking straight at me. I was confused. It turns out Herobrine was making me hallucinate and tried to kill me. He got angry that I got away, so he started getting close up and tried to attack me, getting me super low, but I just get away from mining down. Once I thought it was safe, I mined out the floor, but I was so wrong. No. I woke up in the middle of a massive crater. I only just survived, but I knew I had to get out before mobs find me, so I mined upwards and tried to get out. Honestly, I felt so disappointed. How was I going to defeat Herobrine if he nearly just killed me like that? Eventually I made it out of the cave, but I just saw how destroyed the base really was. That looks terrifying. I kind of felt like I lost everything. My base was literally griefed again for like the second time. Now there's one thing I knew. I wanted revenge. I go walk into the furnace room and grab the journal. We knew one crucial piece of information, and that's from the journal we found out that the mutant skeleton lives inside the Notch temple. Now I was determined to kill him. I go gear up, make arrows, and start traveling to kill him. Yeah, I didn't do that. I was scared. I mean, why don't we just stay at our temple and fix it? I went and rebuilt my stairs, but also checked on the sub button. Yeah, it's okay. I go and patch up the floor of planks, and then after that, things started to get weird at home. All those saplings have grown. The Notch apple trees finally grew, which meant we had gold apples. So I went and harvested a few, although right next to it, there was something else. What even is that? What is this? I don't know, but it had some new tools as well as some ore. I was so confused, so I went back up inside my house and saw a sign as well. You need these. You don't know what's coming. Sign the welder. New tools, a welder, what? Things aren't adding up. All this made me decide to leave my base. I had new goals. Kill the mutant skeleton and find the welder. Okay, we found the Notch temple. Oh my, did I have a voice crack from fear? Maybe, because I arrived and the temple was covered by lava and more destroyed. I go and parkour over the lava and make it to the center, noticing wither skeletons guarding the temple. I had to take them down so I could get to the top as fast as I can. I take the last one down and arrive to the corner and start building out. I noticed a water source that was in the distance, so I built over and made it to the top. I then see that there's an entrance to the mutant skeleton's home on the side, so I start parkouring over by jumping on the stone on the side and jump into the water. We had made it to the entrance. I was geared up, a little scared, but I was ready. So I entered through the hallway and found the mutant skeleton's lair.
You will die, Notch.
The battle begins. He tries to shoot me with his bow, so I use my lightning to strike back.
You cannot stop me.
The fight was challenging. None of my arrows or attacks were dealing any damage. I started to hide behind the fire and the flames inside the temple, trying to avoid as many shots as I can from him. Once I had the opportunity, I tried to get closer, but he infected me with a poison arrow. No.
Herobrine and I will destroy you.
I was low, but I'm not going to let that happen.
Wait. Stop.
At this moment, I realized that his weak point was his chest. All I needed was one hit.
Wait. No.
I defeated the mutant skeleton. I was relieved and went to check his chest and noticed he had gold apple saplings as well as an emerald one. I took them all and left the temple. Immediately as I left, I could already tell that the temple was cleansed. I was so happy. Maybe one day I'll be able to go back. My plan now is to go home. I had to leave. We were now only a few days away from unlocking our next power. We may have a problem. While traveling home, I realized we had tons of bread, but absolutely no apples at all. So I decided to go searching for an apple biome, and found one. This is the apple jackpot. I grabbed more and more apples, although I stopped once I started hearing someone using an anvil. I went and investigated, then found someone's cabin, so I went to get a closer look. Turns out someone was there. Wait, are you the welder who put that sign up? Hey, did you make this? What do you mean, no? So we found the welder. Yeah, he was a little shy, but you know what? I'm like that around new people too. He also said if I was able to grab the right materials, he would be able to make more than this notch sword he gave me. So he said to come back in a few days to find out what I need. Things were looking good until I had a new problem appear. Guys, are those mobs infected? They were infected, alright. I thought it was just those creepers, so I took them out of their misery and then saw this. It was the village we helped earlier. I literally ran into the village as fast as I can. I wanted to make sure everyone was alright, but I was just too late. I go over to the blacksmith room and realized he was infected as well as countless other villagers. I did what I thought was best and took the blacksmith as well as other villagers out of misery. I know I could do nothing, so I just went and left the village. To be honest, I felt guilty. I feel like I always just don't make it in time. Our power was only one day away, so we had to keep going. Day 40, I unlock my next power, the life generator. I go and use them in the villager spawns. We could create an army. Maybe we could use this to defeat Herobrine. Nah, I'm just gonna ignore what I said because I thought of a better idea with this power. I go and place all my new apple saplings and create a farm. With this power, I thought this would be the best time to work on stage 2 of our Notch temple. Building time. I go and break dirt and build stage 2 of the next room. We needed this so we could summon librarians. because they can give us strong enchants. We now got Liberians, super powerful loot, and OP powers. We still had to defeat Herobrine. He was now only 50 days away from destroying the world. This cave is terrifying. We mined through the top of our temple and went and tried to find emeralds. Our goal was to get enchantment books, so I go grab some emeralds that were near me till we had enough. I hate cave noises so much. Steven, no! I didn't mean to do that. I went and got out the cave and walked back inside the temple. I go and trade for 2 fire aspect enchant books with the Liberian and then weld it onto my notch sword. I'm doing so much, but it feels like so little. Well, that's sad, but the welder probably knows what we need for the notch gear by now. I don't know if I can trust him. What if he's on Herobrine's side? But I need to get the loot. I went and grabbed some more apples on the way and finally made it back to the welder. I came up to him and asked about what materials I would need for better armor. He said the notch ore that I just dropped as well as enchanted golden apples. They were impossible to get until the welder told me otherwise. That's not happening. There was actually one place I could find them, the floating islands. Although that was the place I wanted to go the least. I kinda knew I had to go. The best thing to do was get home and gear up. So I entered the temple and grab loot from my chest, craft obsidian arrows, and then go down to my farm and go harvest golden apples. We were ready to go. We need to get to the ocean. Luckily there was one close by. It kind of felt stupid that I was a god and I was literally crafting a boat, but that's what Notchy Boy has to do. How else are we gonna get there? I started to travel. It was kind of just me going through water. There was a volcano that I thought was gonna blow up. No. Although I was happy to see it because I knew it was right next to the floating island. Things are about to be interesting. I traveled towards the floating island and built up there by using planks. This led me towards a dungeon. I go and walk through it, opening the door, and noticed that there was a Herobrine infected zombie. Was Herobrine here? I was confused. Since I thought Herobrine has infected the mobs, I went and left the dungeon and mined out the bottom of the floating island. We needed to find a new way to the top, although there was also notch ore on the bottom of the island. I went and mined some notch ore and thought about how to get to the top. I ended up just using a water bucket. I knew up here there were going to be more infected mobs, but I had everything. I was ready. The battle then begins. I see Herobrine minions all attacking at once. My plan was to take all of them down, but they were everywhere. Come on. I tried to get as much distance from all of the mobs, just then to turn around and start attacking all of them, and finally slayed every single one. Besides this one, I still killed him anyway. They call me a little mischievous. But this zombie helped me notice that there was a door behind the tree. I went and investigated it to see what it was. It led me to a new room and into a dungeon room as well, which seemed familiar. I've been here before. It was my bedroom, the exact bedroom I had when I was a child. I shouldn't have came back. I went and left to see what was further down in the dungeon and saw a whole tribe of ancient villagers living in there. This is way too familiar. I then realized the villager who used to take care of me was now the leader. I was lost, so I asked what happened. The deadly beast known as the Whisperer was already here and stole the orb. Stop him before he gives it to Herobrine or the world is destroyed. Well, that was overwhelming. I didn't even know how to react. There was a new boss. I just went over the chest because they offered me the last gapples they had. We needed this for the armor, so I took them all. This is going to be hard. I have to defeat Herobrine, my brother. I went and left the floating island and traveled to the welder. I thought we should just go to his now. Not gonna lie, I just felt really overwhelmed by everything, so I just pretended to be happy around him. Hey, how did you get there? I told him I had everything he asked for, so he wanted me to follow him down into his blacksmith room. He wanted me to give him all the materials I gathered so he could make our gear. All I had to do was put the notch ore as well as the enchanted gapples into some hoppers, so I put them in and then left. Since he said it would take a few days to make the armor, I just went and traveled home. I got back and didn't know how to fill. I just thought I might as well work on the third stage of the base. Alright, what if we make a stairway up to the notch face? I spent the next few days wanting to work on the third room in the notch temple head. I knew we should really be fighting the Whisper, but I can't really force myself and we need to progress the base. I think we should start building the notch face, and I have no idea if this is going to end up bad. Okay, now that doesn't look too great, but we had to keep going. After that, I really wanted to build some rooms inside the temple face. I feel like our bedroom kind of sucks and I have no privacy, but this would work and we'd be able to finish our notch face. Until my pickaxe broke. Bro. Since we were like one day from my next power, I decided to stop for now, and the shape actually looked good. Day 60, I was waiting and then realized I had a new power, the power of flight. So I was curious and wanted to try my powers out. I go fly upwards in the air and go experiment. I could go as high as I want. Okay, I'm not gonna even lie, that was so fun. Yeah, but you know what wasn't fun? Herobrine. The welder would have finished our armor by now, so I grabbed some golden apples for our travel, then used my powers to float and flew without having a single worry. But not for long. While traveling, I encountered a complete biome made out of obsidian. I've never seen anything like it at all. I thought maybe I'll ask the welder what it is. Apple time! Day 61, I finally made it to the welder's home. I go down the ladder and notice he was there waiting for me. He ended up showing me that 50% of the notch armor was complete and it was super strong. I went and took both chest plate and the helmet, then the welder insisted I took this tool called a chunk miner. I was also curious about the corrupt biome. It turns out the Whisperer was infecting land, which made me feel kinda guilty. I could have fought him, but I built my temple instead. At least we got the armor now. I then left and traveled back home. Day 63 to 66, some crazy things happened. I wanted to go make a lapis bow to fight the Whisperer, but we had no lapis, so I thought this would be the perfect time to use a chunk miner. Okay, 3, 2, 1. The pickaxe actually mines a whole chunk. I mined some more chunks, which eventually led me to a cave. I then saw some diamonds and tried to fly over to them, and literally almost died. I was just really good, so I survived. I then thought it would be a good idea to go further into the cave. I went and mined every lapis vein I need until I thought I had enough for the bow. After that, I fly out and actually admire this absolute piece of destruction I've created. Day 67 came off to a good start. We made an obsidian bow, placed a beacon from the floating island like a week ago, although the day just got progressively worse. I used my powers to get diamonds and then went and enchanted all my notch armor to the best enchants I could give. Now you may be wondering what went wrong. Well, this did. Where did that thunder come from? What are those? This is when I realized something very bad. Hostile and deadly mobs were able to get on my land. What if the biome I'm in is getting infected? It turns out I was right. My biome was getting infected by the Whisperer. Without hesitation, I began traveling instantly. I flew over the mountains behind the temple and see pillagers and other mobs trying to stop me from finding them. I was actually angry. Like really, he was griefing my base. I wanted revenge. But I realized that was wrong. You know, villages and homes are just being destroyed everywhere. I was now more upset at myself. How did I not even consider who was being infected? I felt guilty, but I landed in the corrupted biome and traveled through it, trying to find anything close to the Whisperer until I noticed a giant castle in a destroyed land. Maybe if I can kill him, I can save others. Now, our goal, you may ask, get the orb back. This may be a bit harder than I thought. In the castle here, there were hundreds of spawners spawning tons of skeletons. It was very painful, but we were making our way through. Yeah, until I let myself into a dead end with dozens of skeletons. They all started attacking each other, so I tried to sneak through and run through the hall without being too heavily hit. I just got out alive. Luckily, I made it out to the deck and found a stairway to the top of the castle where the Whisperer was. Hello? The battle against the Whisperer begins. I try to get close and hit him with my sword, but he suddenly blinds me from his attacks. I tried a different approach, tried to go further away, but his damage just wasn't going down fast enough. I need to obtain the orb before Herobrine takes it from him. I start playing more risky, being close to the floor to hit more shots, and it was working. His health was going down incredibly fast. He tried to get higher in air, but that didn't work. I managed to pin him to the ground, and now he was super low. He was trying everything to avoid my attacks. I tried to pull a sneak attack while he's trapped, but it flings me far away from him. He only had 1 HP left. I knew it was time to end this. I run towards the Whisperer as fast as I can. And then slay the Whisperer. I was relieved, although I was still worried. He isn't holding the orb. I checked my inventory and saw nothing. I thought he might have left it in the castle, but when I flew over and arrived, I checked the chest. Nothing was there. Herobrine had already grabbed the orb. I then thought the best thing to do was just get home until I heard an explosion coming from the castle. Now, do I really trust some villagers that came from an evil castle? Yeah. Hey! It turns out the villagers had no home and most places were completely destroyed, so I thought I should try help them when I get to the temple. Also, because I'm helping them, they told me that Herobrine lives inside the end, but with a castle. That was good news, but I was just about to hit my breaking point. It's apple time. Now things really got bad. I thought it'd be the perfect time to actually get my armor, so I went to the welders until I saw his base was like completely destroyed. They didn't show mercy. I was genuinely scared, I won't lie. This was the most destroyed base I've ever seen. There was a sign that said he went into hiding, so I went down and checked the blacksmith room and used his crafting table to try craft the last 2 pieces of notch armor myself. And while I did that, I honestly just felt guilty. Maybe if I just killed Herobrine before, none of this would have happened. I swear I'm always just so close. Well, that's kinda sad, but we have been making progress and I knew we needed to make more. We've built 3/4 of the temple, so now what we need to do is the face and convert more of the area on our land. Although I was at my breaking point. Let's try to build these villages. I wanted to just be fast, so I went and created a small farm as well as made some homes for the villagers. We had to keep going. I think we should add another village on the left side. I was actually kind of proud. We were able to give some villagers a safe home for the first time. I went through and made small homes for the villagers and then focused on the face of the temple. Oh! Ooh, we could actually die while building this. Luckily, I didn't have too much left, so I built the rest of the head and tried to layer it, and then finished the notched temple face. I was actually really happy with how it turned out. We had made so much progress from completing our temple. I considered just ending the night by enchanting all the new loot I got from the welder, and decided once it was dark enough to get into bed and sleep. But everything changed. Day 80, I woke up and thought, why don't we go outside? Considering what I wanted to do today. Whoa, what? Days and days travel past and hundreds of lightning bolts appear. What is happening? I look straight forward and see a giant Herobrine appear. I couldn't move. What's going on? After that, one of the volcanoes erupt. Then the second one does as well. I have to protect the temple before it's too late. I go and fly over to the volcano on the right side and see that the lava was heading straight to the village. I fly up and try to see anything I can do to stop it from spreading. While I was striking lightning, I realized my powers got stronger. The lava started to spread less. It turns out my lightning was dealing much more damage, and now I was able to create craters. That's when I realized I unlocked Ultra Lightning, which made my lightning deal more damage and have a wider spread. I then go to the next volcano and try to stop the lava from spreading to the other village. I strike lightning into the floor to create craters for the lava to go in, and was relieved when it started to work. All I knew is that this needed to stop now. I stopped the lava and the weather cooled down. I honestly just felt bad. We made so much progress with our base, but Herobrine had won. Day 82, we're nearly at the end. Herobrine's won. I've honestly given up. I just thought since there wasn't too long, I guess I'd just go like work on my base. But then I realized I actually haven't made any progress. I've made 0. This whole time my goal has been to defeat Herobrine, but I've stopped myself and procrastinated from doing that. Every single boss fight or challenge, I focused on something else first. This got my friends killed, my home destroyed, and let them completely take over. I thought I was making progress in this world, but how have I been doing that if in 15 days there's no world left? Things change now. I go up to my enchantment room and use my anvil to convert my Herobrine sword into a Herobrine slayer. This could deal lots of damage. After 90 days, I knew it was time. I'm not holding back. I grab everything I need, like all my gold apples, and prepare to leave the temple. We can't make any mistakes from now on. Okay, so if Herobrine lives in the inn, that means he will have to have his own stronghold to get there. From this, I knew my goal was to find Herobrine's stronghold. I keep traveling through countless biomes until I felt like I was getting closer. I knew it'd have to be in a corrupted biome. I was filled with determination, confident, and knew I made dozens of mistakes, but this time things were different, and thankfully they were. I eventually found the biome I was looking for. Honestly, through this 100 days, I've made so many mistakes, and thankfully I was ready to change that because we ended up finding Herobrine's stronghold. We're here. I swam through the water, getting closer to the temple, and honestly was scared. I nearly hesitated to actually go inside, but I forced myself to to go through the stronghold entrance, going through the dark hallway, and encounter Herobrine zombie guards protecting the room. I went and used my Herobrine Slayer and exploded the floor, killing them. After that, I realized I had to parkour up to the next room, so I run and jump across it as safely as I can. Having more infected mobs attack me every minute, I eventually killed all the zombies and decide to leave the phantoms for now. I go up and remember that Herobrine has the orb. He was close to completely ending the world. We have to hurry up. I kept going through, honestly with a sick feeling in my gut, worried and scared, but I was ready. We found the ender portal room. At this moment, I realized I made real progress. I go down to the ender portal and walk closer, being hesitated from the thoughts in my head. What if I just go back? I don't have to go. I don't have to go. Not this time. I wake up inside the end, unaware if I would live, but knew I had one goal. Herobrine was only minutes away from destroying the world. I go enter his kingdom. He was at the very top, so I keep going up, taking down mobs and going up the final stairs. And I see Herobrine at the very top. I go strike him with my sword and start attacking him. He then fights back and pushes me further down the castle. He wasn't speaking. He wasn't doing anything, but he had no chance. I go and use my Herobrine Slayer and shoot him up into the air. He was now low. We were about to take him down and defeat Herobrine. Or so I thought. It actually turned out he was alive, but it made me realize something deeper. I have to kill my brother. The truth is, I was so sad. I tried to do everything to stop him, firing more arrows, trying to take down his army, but he was getting too strong. Please can we just not fight? He was only seconds away from completely destroying the world. It was now or never.
You have no power here. I am unstoppable now. What? How? No! That's impossible!
Did we win? I woke up in the middle of the end, confused about what happened, until I realized we did it. We defeated Herobrine. I go over to the ender portal, actually feeling like I could smile. I was genuinely so happy. We did more than just win that battle. We won a battle with ourselves. At this moment, all I wanted to do was just get home, but not for what you would expect. I arrived back home, see my whole temple completely finished, and decided to leave all of that behind. It just seemed right. I've slayed Herobrine, overcame my problems, and now I'm ready for a new journey. So do that thing you're always scared to do, because you may regret not doing it at all. And that's the end of the 1000 Days series. Honestly, congrats to like the few who made it to the end. And I honestly just want to say thank you guys. I got also so much more planned for the future and I really can't wait to show it to you. Anyway, see ya.